6 o'clock, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Steelers wrapped up Week 15 with their 23rd consecutive home win on Monday Night Football as they beat the Dolphins 28-15. Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers completed 23 of his 27 passes for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pittsburgh is now 8-6 on the season and sit first place in the AFC North. In other NFL news, the Commanders are shutting down second-year quarterback Jaden Daniels for the remainder of the season, and they'll start Marcus Mariota for the final 3 games, with head coach Dan Quinn calling the decision, quote, part medical and part team. Daniels has played just 7 games this season and battled multiple injuries with a sprained knee, strained hamstring, and dislocated elbow. To the ice, where the Nashville Predators continue their impressive December run after beating the St. Louis Blues 5-2 last night in St. Louis. Philip Forsberg with a hat trick. Michael Bunting and Reed Schaefer had the other goals, and UC Saros made 20 saves in the win for the Preds. And in college football news yesterday, Texas quarterback Arch Manning announced that he will return to school for the 2026 season. The Longhorns went 9-3 this season and finished ranked 13th in the country. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into Tuesday morning on Ramon and Will. Good morning. Hope you're having a good start to your day. Hope we can make it fly by just a little bit quicker for the next 4 hours. With you here on 104.5 The Zone and 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins, Will Bowling with you in studio. A very happy Ramon Foster this morning because the Pittsburgh Steelers last night were victorious for what felt like the 70th straight game in primetime at home inside the artist formerly known as Heinz Field. Aaron Rodgers, 23 of 27, 2 touchdown passes, and the Miami Dolphins have lost 14 straight games that kicked off with a temperature below 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Got to be a good day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
It is, man. I played in one of those games where Bud Dupree absolutely killed a quarterback on the sideline. Who was that? It wasn't Tannehill. Forget who it was, but Bud caught somebody. It was a snow game, too. No, it wasn't Titan. It was against the Dolphins. It was against the Dolphins.
Okay.
I forget who the quarterback was that Bud cleaned up. It created a chaotic scene on the field that day, but it is what it is, though. But, yeah, good win by them, man. There's a lot of online stuff that Coach Tomlin had been, people wanted him fired. The last home game, they were fired Tomlin. Chants going everywhere. He heard it. I actually did an interview, man, with Brooke Pryor from ESPN this past weekend about that whole culture conversation around Coach Tomlin, the Steelers, et cetera, et cetera. And my trainer asked me yesterday, he was like, you think, not betting purposes here, he said, do you think the Steelers will win? I was like, dude, Coach Tomlin under the fire, home game, prime time, book it. He texted me later, thank you.
And Dolphins don't play well in cold weather.
Did you see what they did on Friday? I'm not sure if you saw it.
Did not.
They went to some school locally in Pittsburgh, and by the way, I didn't know they had that much snow. And guess what they did? They pulled a Vols. They went outside and practiced with their shirts off.
See, that's just
I can joke us too.
Speaking from experience, that does not tend to go well for the warm weather road team.
No, it does not. I can clown on us too, man. When I saw them, I said, they're cooked. If you got to fake being a condition to cold weather by taking your shirt off and not having gloves and, doing silly stuff like that, absolutely not. That is not your natural just comfort zone. And it showed last night, too. Pittsburgh jumped all over them, man. They got a good defense. I got to give it to the Dolphins. Well, they got a fiery defense.
Yeah, they were hitting when they were able to make tackles.
I was going to say.
But they also missed a lot of tackles.
They missed a lot of them, too. DK Metcalf absolutely just ragdolled Minkah Fitzpatrick. I didn't know that was Minkah at the time. I was like, oh, who is that young guy? No, that's the all-pro Minkah Fitzpatrick, man. But DK Metcalf's had a a sketchy season so far. It seemed like that man was fighting for his freedom with that touchdown, man. He just, get off me, move, and he was power running. I don't – he's an aggressive player because he's so big and strong anyway, and he know – like, I appreciate that about DK Metcalf, where he knows how big he is and he can body people. But last night on that touchdown, he was fighting for it.
Well, it was a Miami defense that had limited opponents to less than 20 points in each of its last 4 games. And, it was Aaron Rodgers kind of dicing him up a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
This felt like vintage Aaron Rodgers in a way, in the way that he was just really pretty clinical, especially passing over the middle of the field. From NFL Pro, he finished 17 of 18 for 173 and both of his touchdowns on throws between the numbers. A 94.4% completion percentage on throws over the middle. That was his highest in a game since week 14, 2016. Also a classic Arthur Smith stat here, Ramon.
Tell me.
Last night was the first instance in which 2 tight ends rushed for a touchdown in the same game in NFL history.
Can I tell you
Arthur
something?
Smith in his bag.
Can I tell you something else, too? Each and every tight end on the roster had a catch, had a touchdown, had some level of involvement. Connor Hayward, the touchdown. You had, what's his name from the former Titan guy? Jonnu Smith. Pat Fryermuth played a part. And, of course,
the extra tackle, Darnell Washington.
There it is. Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers has this sick, I guess, just attraction to going to Darnell Washington. It's also hilarious.
Aaron's got a lot of sick attractions to a lot of things.
This is very true.
For being honest.
It's very true. But it's fascinating watching him, to your point, having the huge, heavy involvement of tight ends. I know, like, this fan base has said, bring Arthur back home. I'm like, Arthur's still doing the same Arthur-like things that he was doing with the tight ends here in Nashville, Tennessee. Like, are you sure you want that type of offense? Because when the Steelers got up a little bit too, you know what they were doing? Handing the football off.
Yeah, Kenneth Gainwell was a really big part of it last night. Pittsburgh has got about 3 guys to try to piece together what the Titans had when Arthur Smith was the OC here with Derrick Henry.
Very true. I'm talking about very true between Jaylen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, and, of course, using Jonnu Smith last night as a running back, too, was super fascinating. I don't know what to make of it. And as you was talking about Aaron Rodgers looking like the old him, like it's been 2 weeks in a row that he's somewhat just turning to Green Bay Aaron Rodgers. And, Will, I'm going to be honest. I'm nervous. Because the moment my fandom goes up, I get let down.
Well, yeah, because in the same way, you are even more confident in your team because of how bad the week's been.
Yeah.
Now the week's good. And now you're looking around like, are we going to lose to the Browns in a couple weeks?
Ball going to drop.
And that's probably what it's got to feel like at this point.
It really is, man. It's funny watching that team, though, because you have Jalen Ramsey that played well. You mentioned all the veteran players that they have. Like, they got key players, and T.J. Watt didn't even play last night because he had a punctured lung, which he's been very quiet about. Apparently, he was just like, whoever did it, he really likes that physician, the doctor, so he don't want any issues whatsoever.
Plus, you got to be able to breathe to speak. So
very true. Great point.
It's kind of hard to talk with very much the punctured lung, I would imagine.
But it's funny because I look at the team and I look at the players. I look at the parts that they have. And I'm like, okay, they check this box, they check that box. Although I hate the run defense that the Steelers have at times. They give up too much on the ground. And I'm like, well, what is a championship team? They kind of oversold themselves this offseason by going and get a lot of veterans with a lot of experience, trading for Jalen Ramsey, trading for Jonnu Smith, and giving him another contract. Pat Fryermuth got paid like
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who had a touchdown catch last night.
I'm going to be real with you. I be so embedded in this job, I didn't even realize he was in Pittsburgh, dog.
Well, you had to know, though, because Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. So, of course, one of the old Green Bay things is going to be there, too.
That's true, too. Adam Thielen is around. I'm just like, what in the heck? I hate the Steelers' run defense from time to time. Absolutely hate it. But they got good parts that keep you in games.
It was good last night, though, against a good runner in Devon Achane.
Yeah.
Who only had 12 carries for 60 yards. Really, and Joe Buck and Troy Aikman talked about it on the broadcast. It's like Pittsburgh just forced Tua Tagovailoa to beat them, and he couldn't. We got to have a conversation about Tua.
I was hoping you went there. Go ahead.
22 of 28, 253, 78% completion, 2 touchdowns a pick. That's like the worst any quarterback has ever looked, completing 78% of his passes in NFL history.
Preach.
The guy is not being trusted to throw the ball forward. He is asked to just throw the ball sideways. And then every now and then, he'll layer a throw in zone coverage and be like, oh, he gets it. He doesn't get it. The interception was awful. Yes, NFL leading 15th INT. I think it's time for the Miami Dolphins to move on from Tua.
Pack him up.
I really do. I mean, I know he's got you to 6 wins this year. He has stayed healthy. He has shown you at times that he's somewhat competent.
Yeah.
If everything is right around him, but everything isn't right around him. And for as much as you're paying Tua Tagovailoa, he can't be the kind of quarterback where everything has to be right around him in order for him to just be competent. It's one of those situations where I'm not saying you tank. I am saying that making a hard decision gives you a good outcome one way or another, and that if your next quarterback plan doesn't work, fine, you're going to stink bad enough to just draft a new one. And if it does work, then great. You have a better football team again. But this marriage between Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel, Ramon, I think was always seen as just a good schematic fit, one with the other. I think it's time to pull the plug in Miami.
I'm with you because, again, they have the skilled players to get it done. You mentioned who they have. The offensive line isn't terrible at all. Tua himself makes them bad. Like, I think he makes his wide receivers bad. To your point, unless he's rolling out to his left, because he doesn't want to roll the other way. And I know he's a lefty, but like the issues that he has is he can't turn his body and pivot and throw the way some other quarterbacks do, left or right-handed. You're watching him he's a sacrifice. If you're close to him, there's absolutely nothing he's going to do. Jalen Ramsey pushed him to the ground last night like he was a 5-year-old, Will. Like he had numerous sacks like that. And I'm thinking to myself, God, you got to fall better. You got to know to just chuck the football, too. I'm not sure if he's had a lot of intentional groundings this year, but he is a problematic guy. To your point, Will, he can't be good at making quick decisions all the time. And to your point about like what he's supposed to do at that position, he lacks just the assertiveness of being good every single time. It's like the way fans are, I guess, and myself. He's waiting for the ball to drop, I feel like, more times than not if it's not perfect for him.
The guy just has so many swing passes. So many swing passes. I mean, completing 67.7% of his passes, 2,600 yards, 20 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 6.9 yards per attempt this year. I think that it's run its course at this point.
Let's see, that is the issue when I guess you try to tie your offense to one quarterback and also tie your team to him too, because like Tua did just enough to warrant the contract. I felt like to where you felt like, oh well, I guess we'll do it. And Waddle was growing up, and they were in that mode where Mike McDaniel, to your point, was also acting like a guru himself. I'm with you. Tua is just what he is. I think he and Coach Mike McDaniel just need a different scenery.
Yeah,
because that fan base in Miami, I don't think it's just too high on him in general, especially if you waste Jalen Waddle.
Right, and the problem for Tua is that if the Dolphins were to get rid of him, maybe not a problem for Tua, maybe it's a problem more for Miami. If the Dolphins were to get rid of him, they would have a dead cap charge of $99.2 million in 2026 So good luck with that. Good luck with that, Miami.
He almost threw another pick last night to Alex Highsmith.
Oh, yeah. Like, they're probably married to him for one more year before they can split up, and they would have a dead cap number of $34.8 million after the 2026 season. So you got to make it work there, Miami.
You said 90.1 million?
99.2.
99.
If they'd got rid of him this year, it would have been a dead cap number of $137.8 million, which is never going to happen.
Hold up. Give me a second. Lord, if you listening, if you could just take 10 years off and make me a franchise quarterback, I won't ask for nothing else.
Well, you fired football coaches and fired franchise quarterbacks have got it pretty good.
He ain't even that good.
Pretty good. No. No, yeah, not at all.
Ain't even that good.
Signed a 4-year, $212.4 million contract. I mean, just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And you know what? He living a life. He in South Beach. You know what I'm saying? Miami. He's got, I'm sure, all his family. Well, he's got generational money right now. Bro, I get my butt whipped like that too every Sunday. I'm all right.
615-737-1045 is our number. Live from the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Tua's alma mater is playing in Norman. Miami goes to College Station. We start to break down the two most interesting playoff games of the college football playoff weekend. Coming up next.
Genesis Diamonds really shines this time of the year. The cases are jam-packed with all the best gifts, highest quality at the guaranteed best value prices. Engagement rings, diamond bracelets, eternity bands, earrings, pendants, colored stone jewelry, Rolex watches, and listen, this December at Genesis, you can get the holiday jewelry she wants for $0 down and no interest for 5 years. So you can go big without going broke. Pick any item, spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. So that $6,000 ring is just $100 a month. You can do the math. Everything is affordable. Genesis non-commissioned experts are ready to help you find the headliner gift from a few $100s to a few $100,000. Elegant pendants, dazzling eternity bands, stylish wedding bands, and an incredible selection of diamond classic jewelry with $0 down again, 0 interest for 5 years. And yes, hundreds of pristine pre-owned Rolex watches, all the most popular models too. And if you love a deal, here's something all new for 2025. The Genesis Diamonds Half Price Holiday Vault. A select group of showcases featuring expertly curated Christmas gifts that Genesis is offering at half price. 50% savings, the biggest discount ever. You need to check this out. Genesis Diamonds, the place for that spectacular holiday gift. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs, but see stores for details.
Tuesday morning, Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone, streaming live on Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, at Ramon and Will on Twitter. So there are two games involving Power 4 teams, including 3 SEC teams in the college football playoff first round this upcoming weekend. Taking a look at the two most interesting matchups. Ramon, what is the most interesting game of this weekend to you?
Alabama, Oklahoma.
You saw both these teams in person.
I did.
What stands out about Alabama and who they were when you saw them versus who they are now at the end of the season?
What stands out to me about Alabama is their ability to have explosive plays, I feel like, more often on offense and defense. At any point in time, a big play can be made with them is what I got out of watching them up close and personal. When they get going, they're hard to stop. They will just steamroll you on either side of the ball. And any blip I feel like you feel that you have in your armor, they take advantage of. That's what I saw from the Vols' perspective. That's what I've seen whenever they've played against Georgia. Also, when they get rolling, Will, they're hot. Can I do the contrast of that?
You absolutely can.
Absolutely. As of late, I'm not sure what version of Ty Simpson you're going to get. If you consistently meet this version of Alabama in the trenches, outside, face-to-face, they kind of take it a little bit. And I feel like we saw that in the SEC championship game. I feel like Oklahoma made them take it also later in the game as it got tighter and tighter. And I'm not sure what they are without Jam Miller, or can Ty Simpson absolutely win it himself?
I do think that Jam Miller is probably going to play in this game.
I think he was held out of the SEC championship for a reason. For this to get healthy, right? It's kind of the way I saw that one, too. But I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's just how I felt about that one, too.
No, you're good. I don't think LT Overton's going to play, which I think is a bigger deal.
Okay.
Their defensive tackle, who's responsible for 35 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks. Kalen DeBoer has said that he is doubtful at this point in the practice week. So I think it's a really interesting matchup because the first time that these two teams played, Alabama was the better team. Alabama made some really big mistakes. They turned the football over in the red zone. They were Alabama outgained Oklahoma by 194 yards, but they were horrible in the red zone. 3 turnovers when they got close to the end zone. My question, Ramon, is Alabama is that just who Alabama is? Are they a team that finds a way to just not be comfortable ever and always play to the level of their opponent and play with their food to the point that they could just lose on any given day or they could win on any given day? Like, to me, that just kind of feels like who Alabama under Kalen DeBoer is.
That's what I mean by, like, looking at them like their talent matches everybody else in the country. It does. And to your point, like, they'll play down. I think we're in a different phase of what Alabama football is, to where that whole, put your foot on people's neck and don't let up until the game is over. I don't know if Kalen DeBoer has that DNA with his team. Like, it just changes. Like, I've watched, local teams or other basketball teams or other football teams, like when a coach leaves, their DNA changes also. And it's not saying that they're not good. I think Kalen DeBoer has a real good team. I think he has a highly touted, talented team too. I truly believe that. But that mentality that Coach Saban had there, I think Alabama fan base is adjusting to it. I think the football team has already removed itself from it. And they just are a well-oiled machine when you ask them to be or when they're challenged to be. I don't know if they go into games saying, yes, this is just who we are, because until that pick 6, right, at the end of the half of the Vols, you were toe-to-toe with them, to be quite honest with you.
Same thing with this Alabama first matchup.
You see what I'm saying?
Defensive touchdown in that game, too.
That's exactly what it – so it to me, Will, is yes, they have a ton of talent, and I think it shows up at times. Now, I know Kirby Smart and Georgia was getting their lick back against Alabama, right? I get that one. But I saw, in my personal opinion, an Alabama team that just kind of tucked their tail and went home, too. I believe they're good enough to play and win and go to Norman and compete with them. My personal stance on it, I just think at home, at that game and that matchup at 8 o'clock at night, I don't know if Bama's going to be good enough against that. And I'm not overly excited about what Oklahoma is offensively. It's just that teams that have very strong and violent defenses, they've had their issues with.
Yeah, when these two teams played, Oklahoma had 6 takeaways in 2 games after having 4 in its previous 7.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma scored 37 points off of those turnovers. They're going to have to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that I don't think that's super hard to predict. Like, I think they can do it again. But typically, when I look at a rematch of 2 teams where one team outgained the other by 194 yards and just turned it over a bunch, I'm going to side with the team that outgained the other. Because turnovers are not always predictive.
That's true.
And the reason why turnovers are hard to predict is because there is an element of randomness in terms of how the ball bounces.
Yeah.
That's just the way that it works. There is an element of randomness in your defensive backs catching footballs when they're thrown to them. I mean, heck, look at what Cam Ward did against the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday and having 2 balls that could have very easily been intercepted and weren't. Were those worthy of being picked? Yes. Were they? No. On any other given day, that he might have been picked 3 or 4 times. Like, again, it's just, it's not always a stat that is super predictive. That being said, I just think that this is kind of who Alabama is. And I'm not predicting them to lose the game. I actually do think Alabama wins.
Do you?
I just think they're one of the hardest teams to really nail down and predict in college football. Because on any given day, if Ty Simpson just has even like a 6 out of 10 performance, they might be done for.
Yeah.
So they can't run the ball.
Yeah.
What will Oklahoma do defensively to challenge Ty Simpson and put him under pressure? Because I know they are very exotic in a lot of the blitzes that they have.
I think they go up the middle at them. They go with their guards. That's what Georgia did. Now, I know they had a couple injuries at the left guard position. They moved some guys around. If that hadn't helped itself as far as those guys getting healthy over the last couple of weeks, then that's going to be problematic with them. But even before their starting left guard went out, they were getting all kinds of pressure on them. I see them almost doing exactly what they did against the Vols, because I don't think Oklahoma's offense is just potent and where you can just say, yes, I fear them. I think they're going to apply pressure, Will, off the edge and up the middle for them, specifically up the middle, because that to me is where you can just flush Ty Simpson out. And as of late, he's been accurate throwing down the field on the run. Like, if he's got his feet set, when we saw him earlier in the season, Ty Simpson, his ability to roll, get his feet set, and have his shoulders where he's down the field, he's good to go. The issue that Ty Simpson's going to have is if they do flush him and he's running side to side the way he did in that SEC championship against Georgia, he's inaccurate. He can't see it.
Right.
He looked nervous that last time. And I don't think Oklahoma's going to let up, because Georgia didn't let up. And you reap the benefits of that in that game, too. I would follow that game plan until Ty shows me that, hey, I'm back to the old me, or they have to stop the run game, or the run game helps assist them, which they didn't have much of in that game anyhow against Georgia. I have to follow that game plan.
Do you think Ty Simpson's ready to be an NFL quarterback, or does he need to go back for another year?
I say yes.
Yes to which one?
I think he needs to. I think he's ready to be an NFL quarterback.
Okay.
I do. I like Ty Simpson as a quarterback. I think when you see that defense that Georgia presented him, yes, that's an NFL style of defense, but he has, to me, the tools to get the job done if he can go back and reset himself. The same thing we spoke about yesterday with Cam. Like, at some point, you got to get back to your baseline and have your mechanics be checked out and figure out what it is. He's at 2 weeks. I am expecting to see a better version of him, a more competitive game than his last showing in Atlanta. But yes, I do think he has the tools and the athleticism and the brain to go to the next level to be an NFL quarterback. How high he goes, I had him earlier in the season when he was lights on fire. When he was on fire, top 3 type quarterback.
Yeah, I think at this point he's probably a top 3 quarterback.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's a top 3 pick.
Top 3 quarterbacks still go first round.
Sometimes.
Not
That's
always. True. Yeah.
This past year it went top of the second. I think that's about right for Ty Simpson.
That's fair, considering the pool.
Yeah, and I don't think he's super consistent in the accuracy piece of it, I think, is what's concerning. I'm leaning Alabama. I reserve the right to change my opinion as the week goes.
Okay.
It's one of the games you just kind of got to feel in your plums a little bit.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you.
They're a really hard team to predict, Alabama.
They are. But this is where, to me, we always speak of the one thing. I trust Oklahoma's defense more than I trust Alabama's at this point.
I just don't trust Oklahoma's offense at all.
That's fair.
At all. Ever since John Mateer had his hand cut open, I really don't trust them at all. I don't know.
That.
We'll see. I mean, Alabama, slightly above average offense. Oklahoma is 93rd nationally in yards per play. Passing-wise, they're okay again. John Mateer turnovers could also be the difference in this game. Rushing again, not great for Oklahoma either. They're 108 nationally in rushing yards per play. They've just been scoring off of turnovers against good teams down the stretch, which again, if you keep forcing them, then we don't have to have this conversation. I think the theme of both of these games is I think the better quarterbacked team is going to win. I get that's not groundbreaking analysis in playoff football, but I think even more so when you look at the four quarterbacks in these two most interesting games, Ty Simpson and John Mateer, Marcel Reed and Carson Beck. You have a lot of Jekyll and Hyde quarterbacks, and you've got some guys that on their day can look like legitimate top 5 overall picks in the NFL draft. Like in one game, Marcel Reed looked like in the second half against South Carolina, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Yeah. And in the first half, he looked like one of the worst quarterbacks in the country. Which brings us to Miami and Texas A&M. Again, a game that I think is going to come down to a couple of plays. And I think that's the theme between the two of these. A couple of explosive plays, a couple of turnovers are going to make the difference. The matchup between Cassius Howell, the Texas A&M edge rusher with 11.5 sacks, 16 tackles for loss, him against the Miami offensive line. And especially if he lines up on the offensive right and defensive left against future first-round pick Francis Mauigoa, who Tennessee fans will remember was a prized recruit for Josh Heupel in Tennessee a few years back. That matchup is the best individual mano-a-mano matchup we're going to have of the playoff first round, and one of the best edge rusher versus offensive lineman matchups that we're going to see all season, Ramon.
Yes. Francis is that guy. He's been him for a very long time. He looks like Panay Sewell. I think they're related, or that's one of his idols that he looked up to. Forgive me if I'm totally wrong and off base on that one.
Allow me to Google search.
But he's checked every single box from the day he started playing at the University of Miami. This matchup, a lot of money will be made off of it. And here's the other part, too. It's not just Francis. From right to left, that's a grown man offensive line that they've paid for, that they've developed, and they are getting a lot of results from. Carson Beck has every tool in his box that he needs to get this job done.
74% completion percentage for Carson Beck this year. He's 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns with 10 interceptions.
And he's got speed at wide receiver. He's got help at the running back position. And Carson Beck, I know a lot of people have criticized him, he can make plays.
Oh, yeah.
He can sling it.
You complete 75% of your passes, you're doing something right.
Yeah. Now, it's the same offense that Cam Ward also was a part of, too. That offense is very quarterback-friendly. Florida fans, by the way, are losing their minds right now.
Are they?
Because DJ Lagway is slated. That's one of the schools.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
I know.
If you're a transfer quarterback, you're calling Shannon Dawson, the OC, Mario Cristobal in Miami.
No doubt about it. But that's the thing about him is Carson Beck can manipulate the pocket. The issue that he's going to have is the same one I feel like you have when you're going against Oklahoma. The A&M defense is going to pressure him and try to wear him down as much as they possibly can. This is going to be a fascinating matchup to him to see if he goes back to an old version of him before he got kicked out of Georgia, basically. Mm-hmm. Or is he going to answer the call and stay in the pocket and use his weapons? I don't know if you have two better matchups in the entire playoffs right now in the first round than those two.
It's going to be a really fun game. I mean, A&M 20th or top 20 in offense, 5th in success rate allowed defensively. They're the best third down team in the country. Texas A&M, 6.5 yards per play. They have the explosive element with KC Concepcion, Mario Craver, those guys. And you have defensively an elite front for Miami and an elite front offensively for Miami. Miami is number 2 nationally in pressure rate allowed. +9 in turnover margin as well, Miami. So despite the 10 interceptions from Carson Beck, they have still been plus in that area of the game. I like the balance of A&M. They're top 40 rushing, top 30 passing. One of the best offensive lines of the SEC. This is a grown man matchup in the trenches. Because Miami's front seven with Reuben Bain Jr. and those guys against the Maroon Goons and the Texas A&M offensive line. And then you flip it, and it's Francis Mauigoa against Cassius Howell and a really good Miami offensive line against, again, one of the best havoc rate teams in the country in terms of forced fumbles, sacks, and things of that nature, negative runs. Whoever wins that matchup in the trenches wins the game. I lean A&M again. I think the home field advantage might be enough to make the difference.
Miami needs this worse. They do. I feel like as much money they spent,
I don't know.
As much money they've spent the last couple of years, and the conversation of how they just poach and pull, like for that reason right there, like the investors in Miami football need this win more than anything when it comes down to their, I guess, justification and things that they're doing.
How would you judge Texas A&M this season if they lose this game?
Overachieved, to be quite honest with you. I know that's probably disrespecting them, but I didn't know Texas A&M was going to be this good. Heck, I don't know if anybody knew Texas A&M was going to be this good the last 2 years.
Well, but the thing is, though, I think if they lose it, we're gonna relitigate how good A&M really was.
No,
because who did A&M beat if they lose this game?
That's fair, but they
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, to your point. But here's the thing: they put belt to behind on almost everybody else that they played this year. At least, like to me, I don't even want to call them front. I think they're a very solid team that's played the schedule they were given, and they knocked off everybody they possibly could, except for Texas. Like, Texas, to me, was on He-Man strength going into that last game. Like, I don't know if we've seen that version of Texas in a very long time. Oklahoma was the last time you saw Texas be that good, when they beat a valid team.
And I know they won at Notre Dame. Like, that seems like an eternity ago on September the 13th. And really, you have a dropped hold extra point that ends up making the difference in that game in the fourth quarter. I think there will be a lot of revisionist history on Texas A&M if they lose this game. And I think there's a ton of pressure on that program's continued ascension under Mike Elko for them to win this game and prove they weren't fool's gold all season.
So my assessment wasn't wrong. Like, overachieve. Like, I won't say it's surprising.
Yeah, it's a different way to put it. Yeah. But I think it's a fair way to look at it.
I'm not mad at if Texas A&M loses this game. I do look at them and say they have every reason to be a part of it. They've proven they have every reason to be a part of it too. But if they lose, it's just like, okay, well, yeah, Miami is that good too. Like, I don't view them as failures. I just look at them as like, man, y'all did really good this year.
Coming up, the best thing that I heard in a broadcast booth from over the weekend. We could make this like a weekly segment. Best sounds on a broadcast over the weekend, and also one of the most wholesome things that you're going to hear in sports that didn't come from Fernando Mendoza over the weekend that you need to hear coming up next. Put Lee Company on your team and stay ahead of the game with home maintenance, repairs, and more. Hey, it's Will Bowling. For as little as $14 a month, become a Lee Company Plus member and receive 4 annual visits to your home for your heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical systems. Even better, Lee Company Plus members receive up to 20% off on every visit, and they enjoy priority service. Learn more online at leecompany.com/plus. Platinum Home Protection starts with a Lee Company Plus membership. I've been trusting Lee Company like many of you have because they are the authority in Middle Tennessee. Lee Company's got over 80 years of experience. Since 1944, they've been in business. They're available 24/7. When something's not working, that means that you call them and they're there at a moment's notice, even in the wee hours of the morning. And Lee Company, with this membership, really puts you ahead of the game, puts you ahead of Mother Nature. So for as little as $14 a month, become a Lee Company Plus member. Get those 4 annual visits to your home for your heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical systems. Online at leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need. Wrapping up hour number 1 on Ramon and Will. You can stream us and see our beautiful faces for radio and Santa Foster. 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. This your Steelers Santa hat?
Nah, I just wore one because I wore black hoodies usually, and I actually got this other black sweatshirt I was going to wear. And so, let me get the black hat to match, and it just came together the way it did.
Dark mode Santa this morning.
Should get an orange one, too.
That'd be great.
Should, yes.
Surprised you don't already have one.
Don't make me go to the Zon, okay? Don't make me go to the Zon.
Well, you are really emulating the black Air Force One energy of your Pittsburgh Steelers, who won their 23rd consecutive home game on Monday Night Football last night.
I looked up last night because I wanted to see how many Monday night games I played, and I played in 12 and lost 3, and I was just like, they really show up in prime time.
Those 3 losses weren't at home because the last time the Steelers lost a home game on Monday Night Football was October the 14th, 1991.
Yeah.
Your boy was 6 years from being born. How about that?
No.
1991 is crazy.
Man, that's kind of wild. Will, don't age us like that, man.
No, I'm not aging us. I'm aging myself, unfortunately. And I'm trying to... Never mind.
Yeah. When's the last time the Titans had a Monday night game? We can discuss that later.
No. I want to guess it. You want to guess
it?
The last time the Titans had a Monday Night Football game would have been, I don't want you to tell me until I guess it. At home or just period?
At period.
Oh, period would have been Miami.
Yeah.
On the road,
home,
they won.
Home is what I meant because I was at that one.
Home would have been the win over the Buffalo Bills when Jeffrey Simmons stopped Josh Allen on a QB sneak in the fourth quarter, which would have been 2021.
Sure was.
Was it 21?
Hold up.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah, where he, quote unquote, slipped, didn't slip.
Okay.
Yes, that's when it was.
2021 Monday Night Football?
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
Look at you.
There's Thursday night here against the Cowboys in 22, which would have been, I believe, the last home primetime game. Actually, no, what am I saying? I do know that. That was 2022, yeah. The meaningless game where the Titans didn't need to beat the Cowboys, so they rested guys, and then they went to play Jacksonville Week 18, because that was the day before Tennessee played in the Orange Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it. It's not showing that Bills game, Will, off top.
2021?
2021.
Or was it 2020? I don't think it was. No, it wasn't 2020 because that was when the Titans played the Bills on Tuesday during all the COVID stuff. And Derrick Henry stole Josh Norman's soul. It was great. I mean, that's what happened. Unless that was also 22. No, it's 2021. October 18th, 2021. How did I find that so much more quickly than you did?
I was over here searching. I'm the worst researcher ever.
2021, okay. Titans 34, Bills 31.
It wasn't even pulling up. Only thing that's pulling up on mine is like 2018, 2014 Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. This says last time was November 17, 2014 against us.
Is that Google AI?
That was, yes, it was.
Google AI is often very wrong.
Idiot.
Yeah. 2021 Monday Night Football. Derrick Henry rushed for 143 and 3 touchdowns.
I remember the game. Yeah,
Jeff
had a monstrous game right there. I know, but let's let it breathe.
For the 2021 Titans.
Was that the last go?
Huh?
Big times, run at the Titans?
They were the 1 seed that year.
Radio was so fun.
Why don't y'all do this?
We have fun now. What are you talking about?
But now we've turned it we got a promo run and call us therapists. There will be brighter days.
Hope so. I think so.
We know so.
Yeah. There will be brighter days.
You get into existence.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. All right. Nebraska beat Illinois in hoops, and their play-by-play guy was just so terrific in this. Have you heard this yet? Nebraska, essentially a buzzer beater. I think there was maybe 2/10 left, and Illinois was able to inbounds and try a full-court shot. This was the voice of Nebraska basketball as his Cornhuskers remained undefeated and beat Illinois on the road.
Along the baseline, except for Sam out into the timeline. 5 seconds to go. Sam drives the ball, kicks it. It is Lawrence, puts it up. God! 2 seconds to go. Inbounds play. I'm going to pass out. The game is over. Nebraska wins it.
He said, I'm going to pass out. This is Kent Pavelka 41-year-old Nebraska play-by-play announcer. Terrific. Golden.
Hey,
Golden, Mr. Pavelka. Well done by you.
he sounds like an injured animal, man.
Can I get that? Can I get that one more time,
win again.
Justin? Kent Pavelka on the call. 41-year-old play-by-play voice of Nebraska basketball. Here you go.
Flat along the baseline except for Sam out into the timeline. 5 seconds to go. Sam drives the ball, kicks it. It is Lawrence, puts it up. God! 2 seconds to go. Inbounds play. I'm going to pass out. The game is over. Nebraska wins it.
That man needs to work out, man. He's short of breath.
I say this respectfully. The biggest shock is that man is 41. His voice sounds way older than 41 years old.
I'm going to pass out.
Go back to the yelling part where he goes, God! He sound like somebody.
I'm going to pass out.
Yeah, it's really good.
He legitimately
really
sound like an animal hurt in the woods right there, man.
If I was we can't play it too many times. People are going to run off the road. Christy O'Brien's going to tell us about wrecks all over Middle Tennessee because people are listening to Kent Pavelka. If I was a Nebraska fan, I'd find a way to make that my alarm. Your alarm goes off in the morning. All right, that's it. I'm good. Stop.
Oh, that's so good.
I can't.
I'm going to pass out. That sounds so bad. Yes.
We've run this into the ground in about 5 minutes.
Somebody said it sounds like somebody stubbed your toe. Yes, or you get jump scared by somebody.
That must be a terrible toe stubbing. That sounds like somebody cut off your toe. Not that.
That guy sounds. Hey, he's 41.
Yeah,
I can imagine what he looks like.
Which nothing's ever been wrong on the internet.
Is he a? Can I describe him? Is he a portly man, like with a short neck?
I don't know.
Does he wear like flannel? With khakis and brown shoes.
Why am I supposed to know what the
is
voice
he, Jake
of
from State Farm?
Nebraska basketball looks like?
What are you wearing?
That reaction sounds like a
khakis.
person, man. He sounds like the dad from like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, okay. I just saw a picture of this guy. Ain't no way he's 41. There's no shot.
Yeah.
This guy looks a lot older than 41.
Who's the actor I'm thinking of?
Okay. This makes way more sense. 41-year Nebraska play-by-play announcer. He's been doing the job for 41 years. He's not 41 years old. That makes way more sense.
No wonder he's about to pass out there.
Way more sense.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I was about to say.
I feel vindicated.
He looked like Rick Moranis from Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. That's what I'm like imagining right now. Is that what he looks like?
I don't know. I don't know.
This is Rick Moranis right here. Is that what he looks like?
It is not.
It's not. Okay.
He's bald.
Okay.
With a bow
all
tie.
right. I told you. Had a little bit of a poorly.
Coming up, speaking of Nebraska, their quarterback's in the portal. The latest on quarterbacks entering the portal and coming back to where they just played college football in 2025 as Hour 2 begins next.
I'm going to pass out.
7:02, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Steelers wrapped up Week 15 with their 23rd consecutive home win on Monday Night Football as they beat the Dolphins last night 28-15. Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers completed 23 of his 27 passes for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pittsburgh is now 8-6 on the season and sits first place in the AFC North. In other NFL news, the Commanders are shutting down second-year quarterback Jaden Daniels for the remainder of this season and will start Marcus Mariota for the final 3 games. As head coach Dan Quinn calling the decision, quote, part medical and part team. Daniels has played just 7 games this season and has battled multiple injuries with a sprained knee, a strained hamstring, and most recently a dislocated elbow. To the ice, where the Nashville Predators last night continued their impressive December run after they beat the St. Louis Blues 5-2 in St. Louis. Philip Forsberg scored a hat trick. Michael Bunting and Reed Schaefer had the other goals, and UC Saros made 20 saves in the win for the Preds. And in college football news, Texas quarterback Arch Manning announced yesterday that he will return to the school for the 2026 season. The Longhorns this season went 9-3 and finished ranked 13th in the country. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, hour number 2 on this Tuesday morning with some news. I didn't know this was coming out right now, and I'm happy that it is. Because I obviously knew this was happening, and we have some news to share. 104.5 The Zone just tweeted it, so I guess we'll announce it right now. Ramon Foster, do you have something to tell the people this morning?
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. We're locked in, baby. We just signed a new deal.
Goes on.
The show must go on. Hey, no, seriously, man. I appreciate y'all. One, I appreciate the Zone, man. Paul, Allison, Cumulus. This has been a great journey for me, man. Being a part of transitioning out of my first profession that I had, having no idea what this would turn into. Heck, and also too, I say this, I've said this to this person privately. I hadn't said it to this person publicly, and I believe in giving people their flowers. It was pandemic 2020 whenever there was a lot of changes going on here. There was a lot of changes going on in the world. And I get a phone call from one particular person in 2020. It's like, hey, the Zone is making changes, man. I want to put your name in front of, at this time I didn't know who it was. I think it was Paul and Allison. It's like, I'm going to put your name in this pot, and I think you should go after this job. I'm like, okay. That person, and I know there's certain ways about doing stuff or however it unfolded, but that person was Chad Withrow. Chad called me, and I never forget. It was midday. It's like, hey, there about to be some changes here, man. I think you should be there. And Chad, I got to give major props to him, man, for giving me that heads up that, like, hey, I should put my name in this. He actually put my name in front of the people here at Cumulus, man. So I appreciate him not knowing what this would turn into. We're teammates here. I see him more cordial from time to time. But this has turned into a 5+ years later and me signing a long-term deal right now. A lot of changes have happened. Previous co-hosts that I've had, different teammates I've had here. Will and I are rocking out right now, man. Absolutely love doing this every single day. It doesn't feel like a job to me. I'll be quite honest with you. Some days are heavy, and a lot of the time we try to keep it light, man. My first producer, Jonathan Schaefer, said, man, we're supposed to be the thermostat, not the thermometers. And I had a caller, I think 2 weeks ago, was like, man, how do you come in with this type of attitude? It's because, again, if we come in dragging behind, y'all will too. We're supposed to set the tone for y'all. And being a former athlete, moving into this space, I continually have always said, and Will back me up on this one, I never want to be considered a joke. I want to take this as serious as you do. You people that have journalistic integrity in this business, I want to have it also with my style of doing it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I like to have fun while talking sports because sports are light. But I legitimately say, man, this is a great contract for myself, for the zone, for Will and I. I'm looking forward to building over the next, I won't say how long the deal is, but it's a long deal. Next few years, man, and continually crushing the way we do, man. I know we can't mention ratings and stuff like that, but I would say this to y'all. Y'all keep us at top of the list often. I'm appreciative to our zone listeners, the support you guys give me. I say all the time, if y'all see me in public, say something to me. Y'all got to listen to me, or you choose to listen to us each and every morning. So it's my obligation, I feel like, to always have those conversations with y'all and to get to know you too. Of course, when I first came on this show, Will, when we were in the old studio, all I heard was, y'all got a Steeler on the radio talking Titans football. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't understand what the AFC Central was. I knew the towel stomping and the back and forth. Coach Mike Munchak gave me a little history lesson with, Titans and Steelers. I didn't realize it was that deep. But I respect your team. I respect what you guys are doing. You guys respect me, and I love you back, man. So, again, thank you to Cumulus, the Zone, Allison, Paul, Will, the supporters, my teammates, Brent, Don, Buck, Lucas, Bert, Ron, a.k.a. Savage, Zach, Blaine, Zeph. Who am I forgetting? Reed.
Lucas and Bert.
Lucas and Bert. Golly, I'm tripping. Lucas and Bert and everybody else I haven't. Appreciate y'all, man. So, yeah, we're locked in.
Ramon is as good of a teammate and friend as one could ask for in a workplace and life. I'm so grateful to do the show with you and so excited to continue doing the show with you. Congratulations. Very excited for you and glad that we're not leaving. Glad that this show goes on. And we told you guys in the late spring and early summer that this was your morning show. This is what it was going to be. We have both since put pen to paper over the last 6 months, and we're going to keep this thing rolling. Only the start of what we think is going to be a really fun thing for years to come. So excited for you, your day. An announcement I wish somebody would have told me we were making right now, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm glad to make it at any time because I'm always glad to brag on Ramon Foster, who is just as good as it gets. So,
and real quick,
excited for you.
Jayhawk, and also my guy who's always coached me and led me through to Rhett, man. Major shout out to Rhett in this process. I hope I ain't forgetting anybody. If I forget, don't charge my mind. Don't charge my heart, charge my mind, okay?
There's not many at the station that work harder than you do.
It's true.
Titans, Vols, the station. You deserve this. And so proud of you, so happy for you.
Appreciate it, man.
This station is going to be rocking and rolling for the next few years to come.
We'll find a way to celebrate. I brought champagne in here once. I'm going to have to do it again on Friday. Appreciate y'all, man.
Love
The show is going on.
Love it.
We're locked in.
So we are not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere.
Fantastic. All right, well, that's a seamless transition from that. Ramon is not entering the transfer portal of radio, but Dylan Raiola is entering the transfer portal of quarterbacking.
Yeah.
Nebraska quarterback entering the portal on 3 has learned, spent the last 2 seasons in Lincoln. 2 years of eligibility remaining. Ramon, have you seen the teams linked to Dylan Raiola?
I haven't seen his. I've just seen a lot of Nebraska fans glad that he's gone. Now they're trashing him on social media.
Interesting.
Yes. Go ahead, dog.
Interesting.
I hadn't seen his team.
I thought I had this in here. Maybe I didn't. Well, one thing is for sure, and the team that everyone expected him to be linked to, Texas Tech, is not one of the teams.
Oh, okay. I was about to say Texas
because Texas Tech is obviously where Patrick Mahomes went, and Dylan Raiola has this weird thing about just trying to be Patrick Mahomes.
So that's what they're talking about now. It's like, can we just admit that this was weird?
It's always been weird,
but they celebrated it.
Yeah,
as fans.
That's also fair.
Okay,
and now
also
they're bringing
fair.
up to see if Dylan Raiola will tear his ACL as well.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's. That's kind of dark.
That's so bad.
That's kind of dark. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe there actually aren't potential destinations for him yet. I think there was something to the effect of it really just it's always going to be the same big transfer portal quarterback kind of schools. I think it was actually Oregon, maybe. That was the school for him. I'll try to find it. I thought I had it in here. I apologize. I thought I already had it ready, but what do you think the market is for him? It just feels like he's kind of got a little bit of a red flag for me, Ramon, on how much he transferred through high school, committed to Georgia, and now is leaving Nebraska.
I mean, I guess it was kind of expected with his dad getting relieved of his duties there also.
Uncle.
I thought it was his father.
Was the O-line coach. So 2021, he played for Burleson High School in Texas. In 22, he transferred to Chandler High School in Arizona. In May of 22, he committed to Ohio State. In 23, he transferred to Buford in Georgia, powerhouse program. In May of 23, he decommitted from Ohio State, recommitted to Georgia. December of 23, he committed to Nebraska, decommitting from Georgia. And then now in December of 25, he enters the portal. Quarterbacking in 2025.
You asked me who's going to grab him is what talent has he actually shown? A perennial 5-star rating that he had coming out of high school, and I know it's hit or miss on those types of things. My question for Dylan Raiola: how serious are you about playing quarterback? That would be my first question to him.
Yeah, do you want to be all the other stuff, or do you want to be a quarterback?
And I say that because I would ask him, who are you? I have a lot more questions about who he is as a person before we even make it to the field, because I do think he's talented. I do think he's a competitor. I know he loves the game. He checks every single one of those boxes when it comes down to that conversation right there. It's just you have to legitimately see yourself mimicking Patrick Mahomes, and sir, that's problematic to me.
It's a little weird.
It's a little weird. And this is a young man. I don't say this about a 15-year-old or 12-year-old. This ain't baby Gronk.
He's a millionaire.
Yeah. This isn't baby Gronk. As a coach, I think leaving Nebraska, he's going to get clowned if he takes that somewhere else.
Per Max Chadwick, Pro Football Focus, potential landing spots include Oregon, Arizona State, and Miami for Dylan Raiola.
Oregon State and Miami. Oregon State.
No. Oregon, Arizona State, Miami. Oregon State doesn't have Dylan Raiola money.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as I said it, but that'd be the destination for him.
Yeah, right.
Arizona State.
And that would include Sam Levitt obviously leaving.
Yeah.
That was a recruitment that LSU would be majorly interested in.
Hadn't he posted or said he's jumping in also?
Not yet. A lot of cryptic posts, but I don't think anything totally official there yet, unless I missed it.
Dylan Raiola also tweeted and deleted also, from my understanding. There were reports that he had it on his Instagram story, and then he pulled it also.
Another name to watch is Brennan Sorsby, Cincinnati quarterback. Would not be shocked to see him get anywhere between $3 to $5 million, which is going to be the market in like the second tier of quarterbacks. What's the price you think of the top quarterback in the portal this year?
4 to 4.5, maybe 5.
Oh, we already were over that this past year.
I know, but is the market going to jump that much?
Absolutely.
It's going to jump that much.
The amount of first-year head coaches at powerhouse programs, I think we might touch $8 or $9 million.
It's hard for me to gauge because I feel like incrementally it should go from okay, you telling me the kid at Duke got 4? I would expect you to go 5 to 7 would be starting quarterback.
I feel like the market is more crowded with contenders this time around.
So when do we stop it? When it hits 10? Not that I want to stop it.
Once there's a CBA that requires them to, collective bargaining. And until then, show me the money.
Dang.
Yeah.
For starting quarterback then, 5 to 8, depending on the conference. 5 to 8.
That's about right. I think the Brennan Sorsby, Sam Levitt, DJ Lagway, Dylan Raiola, dare I say Nico Yamaliava.
Nico gonna have a market.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Does he want to play for Bob Chesney? We'll see. But at this point, I mean, I think we are moving towards a world where a starting quarterback in college football is going to make $10 million for one season. I don't think we're that far away from living in that world at all.
You've seen in that Dylan Raiola's recruiting class, every single 5 stars moved on except Arch.
Yeah. Arch Manning going back to Texas. Everyone else, peace.
So that's the question, too, then. If I'm Arch, do I renegotiate for more money, too? If you're telling me that Dylan Raiola is about to get 6 and I'm getting 4 as a base? Maybe. Potentially.
Maybe. I do think that Arch probably has some better advice than what a lot of these guys are getting, and the quote-unquote Manning way of operating, and just the plan of what they've said all along, that Arch is not going to go pro as a redshirt sophomore. Mm-hmm. I still think that if he was worthy of the number 1 overall pick,
He gone.
I think he would have been gone, but he's not with the season that he had. And I think that Arch has had people in his corner who have done this before, I think is the difference. And DJ Lagway's in a little bit of a unique situation because the reporting on that yesterday says that he wanted to stay and that John Summerall put him through an NFL combine style interview and really tested him. I was like, nah, we don't need this guy. And DJ Lagway was kind of like, you know what? I don't think I need this either. And is now out headed to the portal.
So reported Summerall said no.
They ran him off. Ooh. They basically, it's kind of like you go on a date with a girl and you know you're not super interested, so you're just totally yourself. Like you don't try to tiptoe around any of your weird things. Yeah. And you don't really put your best foot forward, and then there's not a second date. You're like, yeah, it's okay. I didn't really want one anyway. It's kind of what happened. Kind of what happened there. So but the report is that they want to go get the Georgia Tech heir to Haynes King. That Buster Faulkner, the new Florida offensive coordinator, wants to bring with him to Florida. We'll see.
We're operating as pros now.
Musical chairs, and the music hasn't even started yet.
I saw a tweet.
Not even January yet.
I'll see if I can find it for later, the conversation. Wow.
615-737-1045. Again, congrats to Ramon on the new contract. If you missed it, sticking around. Neither of us leaving. Ramon today announcing the extension. We're very excited. And coming up, let's talk about some winners and losers of the NFL in Week 15. Who had the biggest win and worst loss of the NFL weekend? We'll tell you next.
It's Ramon Fawcett to tell you about my friends at Jewel Roofing and Exteriors, man. They are a trusted, family-owned Middle Tennessee company that's been serving from Clarksville to Murfreesboro for over 25 years, man. They stand up by building relationships and earning your trust through referrals, never through high-pressure tactics, door-knocking, or storm-chasing, man. The company, man, has been locally owned for a long time, man. I know their owner, Robbie Van Norman, man, one of the coolest dudes out. You can just give him a ring, man. And here's the thing about it, what Jewel Roofing believes in. They believe in like he does, man. If you need them, they'll come to you. If you don't, they'll just tell you, hey, well, you just come to us in about 10 years. They believe in that because they know this. People can't just get on top of their roofs and just see what they see. And they want you to trust them and to believe in that what they tell you is true. And not just so they want to have you file an insurance claim so they can put a new roof on your house. No, that's not how they operate. Honesty and trust is what they believe in, man. The local, they've been here for a while. They live in our community, man, and they want to just simply be the best roofer that you can count on. So to learn more, to book with Jewel Roofing and Exteriors, you can call them at 615-868-9999 or visit their website at jewelroofing.com. That's Jewel Roofing with 2 L's.com.
Well, we have a saying around here that everybody eats. Today, Ramon Foster has eaten.
Yes, sir.
Extension for the Big Ragu, if you missed it. At Ramona Will, at 1045 The Zone, where you can see this great picture of you, like signing a paper.
Signing
You got the gold watch on, looking spiffy.
some light. But it's heavy, though.
I love it. Yeah, that's right. Stand on it. That's all right.
Can I say something real quick?
You can say whatever you'd like.
I never go down this lane, man, really much at all. But I went to homecoming at UT about 3-4 weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago, about 4 weeks ago now. And one of my fraternity brothers walked up to me. I had on one of my watches. And my fraternity brother goes up like, look at us. He's like, I got on the same one as you do. It's like, they never know. I say, yeah, until they feel the weight of this and the weight of yours. His was a dupe. And I was, but on the surface level, he was right. I was like, this gold a little heavy right here, my brother. I never do this. That was just the one time. He was like, do you have to be this way? I was like, you started it with me.
Yeah. You can't stand the heat. Get out of the kitchen.
Get out of the kitchen.
I love y'all. I never do that, though. But that was hilarious in that moment, man.
That's what's the line? I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
Don't push me. I promise. I'm better on the nice side. Leave me laughing and having a good time, man. I promise you. But that's me. Again, thanks to everybody that's reached out, tweeted, text me in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all.
Love it. Good stuff. Okay. NFL weekend, week 15 winners and losers. A lot of big games. Some big losses as well for some teams that did not decide to show up. Who had the biggest win of the NFL weekend, Ramon Foster?
They needed it. Bills.
Got to be, right?
Bills. Absolutely a barn burner of a game. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was making some chili and I was watching it on my iPad in the kitchen. I was being, dad of the century. I'm joking. My wife was out. But I'm watching it, and I was crapping on Josh Allen. I ain't going to lie to you. The first part, I'm like, Josh Allen got to show us something. I was just like, man, he's a teaser at this point. He always does these high-flying, exciting plays and keeps you entertained. But, like, when is he going to take over? And Drake, man, the Patriots, like, he didn't have the best game, but they were eating. They were cooking. Like, they did everything you needed them to. And Josh Allen was on the sideline just looking disheveled. Just, what is this? And I'm watching. I'm just like, there's no way they come back from this. Like, watching the sidelines and sitting on the heated benches, everybody had their hoods on. Nobody was emotional. And lo and behold, he pulled his cape out. And a major respect to him winning that game. Dawkins, their left tackle, put out there, they knew this was a shirt and hat game for them, and they wanted to ruin it. And I got to give a lot of credit to the Buffalo Bills, man. As Chris Berman says, nobody circled the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. They did this past weekend. By far one of the best games of the weekend. I know Denver and, who was it? Denver and Green Bay had a solid game, too. I don't know what to say about Bo Nix. Like, that team is good, too. But to me, the best game that I watched in totality was most definitely the not the Packers, but the Patriots and Bills.
Yeah, I think you have to start there, of course. And I think coming back from down 21-0 on the road deserves a lot of credit. 35-31, of course, the final. Josh Allen, 19-28, 193, 3 touchdowns. Added 11 rushes for 48 yards. Yeah. Nashville native Dawson Knox, by the way. Congratulations to him and his wife on the birth of their first child last week as well. Great week to be Dawson Knox, who deserves it.
Then they bragged on him, too, on the broadcast.
Best guy in the world.
New dad bump, man.
Yes, absolutely right. You want people rocking the football after they score touchdowns. At halftime, we talked about this yesterday. Buffalo had 76 total yards and 5 first downs. The Bills finished with 349 yards and 22 first downs. What do you think clicked when they went down 21-0? What changed for Buffalo to allow them to score touchdowns on 5 straight drives?
I feel like the Buffalo Bills needed all of that. But first, I start with the inadequate amount of adjustments that New England made. You saw them running James Cook. You couldn't stop a nosebleed to save your life, and they just That's where it started, was the run game. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not a way to get back into the football game. Well, it was, because it opened up the passing game for them too. James Cook, to me, he's got some of the best balance. I think him and Jahmyr Gibbs may have the best balance in the entire NFL. I know Bijan Robinson is a part of that conversation too, but nobody touches the ground more than those guys and get back up and continue running. And he is a downhill lunch pail type of back, and you need those guys on your team. But it started with them up front and the protection of Josh Allen too. That was the starter. As much credit as I'm giving Josh Allen on the comeback and how much he needed it, they were right by paying James Cook the amount of money they did this offseason. He stirred the drink this entire weekend for them, and they could not stop it at all. Drake May turned into a little bit of a second-year slump also. Mm-hmm. They were all over him, breaking up passes. That was a heck of that was a playoff game.
So at 11-3 now, the Patriots still pretty much control their path to a division title. Next Gen Stats still gives them the better odds of winning their division at 63%. And the Bills now are at 37% probability of winning the AFC East. Drake May, 3 and out twice in the second half, really outside of a 65-yard touchdown run by Travion Henderson. This could have been an even more separated score.
Yeah.
In favor of Buffalo. 47 passing yards in the second half for Drake May in this game. I think it lost him the MVP. I really do. And I already saw Dan Orlovsky and ESPN starting to put Josh Allen now into the MVP discussion alongside Matthew Stafford.
Wow.
It's got to be Stafford. Got to be Stafford.
It's easily Stafford, but you need a two-man conversation.
You do.
And that's just where he is right now. I won't lie. The game that Josh Allen had and how they stormed back like that, that was one that really makes you take a next step in your career. And he's had those moments before, which is why I was questioning, like, what are y'all? I ain't gonna lie, I was trashing Josh Allen that first half. It's like, how you show up to this game and get embarrassed like this?
I think the other one and best win of the weekend, the Denver Broncos 34-26 over the Green Bay Packers. Denver is 12-2, and we're still just kind of waiting for them to regress into a pretty good, not elite team.
Yeah.
Ramona, we talked about them a lot this offseason as a team that I always thought it was them and the Chargers at the top of the AFC West. We were accused of being too kind to the Broncos before the season as we scouted them as the Titans' Week 1 opponent. Turns out we were kind of on the money with that, and I won't pull something patting ourselves on the back with that. But when you are that good in the trenches, your floor as a football team is just so high. And it's one of the best pass-blocking offensive lines in football. It is maybe the best front four in terms of defensive line play in football. And with Pat Surtain now healthy again at the cornerback position against an injured Packers team, they flexed their muscles in this game. Packers did have a lot of injuries. Christian Watson hurt. Zach Tom, their starting right tackle, hurt. And then, of course, the ACL injury for Micah Parsons, who's now out for the year. Christian Watson's return had really helped Green Bay. And after he got hurt, they had 55 total yards in this game.
Man, hear me out. It's because of the two guys you mentioned. You mentioned Pat Surtain, league MVP. He's won that one before. He is official.
Defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year, yeah.
But yes, essentially the defensive MVP.
Defensive MVP. Yeah. Pat Surtain. You know who else is cold too, and you know who he is. Riley Moss.
Mm-hmm.
Riley Moss needs a lot more conversation around his level of play. It ain't just this game that he played well. Riley Moss has been killing it, man. If you watch his tape, his ability to break on the football, be step for step with guys, be Johnny on the spot in moments where he needs an interception or a big play, he's good. I like watching him. At first, I was just like, okay, who is Riley Moss? And then it's not just because of his defense. He's actually making plays. Like, all right, you don't want to throw it past the 10? I'll eat over here too. And he's answered that call. On top, you mentioned, of course, their front four that they have. Nick Benito playing his part.
Jonathan Cooper.
Jonathan Cooper.
And Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers, DJ in the middle.
Yeah, DJ Jones. Yeah, and if you look
they're deep.
They're very, very much so. And then if you also look at the guys that they signed, like Drake Greenlaw playing his part in it too, coming back off that Achilles, like they got everything you want. And we didn't even mention the offense, Will, or how treacherous it is playing in
really
Denver.
The secondary too. I mean, beyond obviously the ones we mentioned, like Talanoa Hufanga coming in at safety, PJ Locke has been solid at the other safety spot. Dre Greenlaw,
Jade Barron,
AJ Singleton, Alex Singleton. There's not really a weakness in that defense. And then you look at their offensive line, and Quinn Miners is PFF's number 1 rated guard this year. Their 2 tackles and Mike McGlinchey, who signed for a bunch of money 2 years ago at a San Fran, looks like the guy that they signed. And Garrett Bowles at left tackle, PFF's number 5 tackle in the league this year.
Dog.
Yeah, it's a really good team.
So look at what you described and said about that team, and this is why I say, Kansas City going to have to regroup, because the guys that you just mentioned are anti-Kansas City.
Well, and Kansas City is not close to that deep in the trenches.
Exactly.
And their offensive line is starting a second-round pick rookie at left tackle, has injuries at the interior with Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey and all these things. Kansas City has got to go rebuild a line the way they did the first time they lost a Super Bowl to Tampa and kind of start over in some ways while still trying to be competitive, because Patrick Mahomes is their quarterback.
And it's fascinating on how they did it, too, because they did it to fight the beast in Kansas City. And now they're at a point to where they're becoming the Kansas City of the AFC West right now. And I know Bo Nix still has his questions, although he was elite in this game, and he's had his moments. If he get that hitch out of whatever his mistakes are from time to time, it could be it could be a couple of years before Kansas City gets back to that point, I feel like. But that to me is, again, how you start off your rebuild is you beat the teams inside of your division first, and you combat them, and that's exactly what they've done. Luckily for Denver, Kansas City is one of the best teams out there, so you had to go do free agency and draft and scout that way too.
Does Denver deserve more credit as a Super Bowl contender? Are you a believer at this point?
Yeah. I told you this past week when we talked about it with Bo Nix, I needed to see more. Give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit more. And he's answering that call right now. The same way that he'll just throw the football in the air, he gets lucky by hitting the ground from time to time. But Sean Payton's got a tight leash around his abilities, I feel like, and is calling it for his strengths. And again, he got weapons. He got a run game. We ain't even mentioned his running backs in this conversation either.
4 touchdown passes against the Packers. Green Bay was able to get some pressure on him, but they did not sack him once on 34 dropbacks. And it's incredible to see what Bo Nix is doing with who they have at receiver. Honestly, Cortland Sutton is good.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's Michael Bandy, who had his first touchdown over the weekend. Lil Jordan Humphrey is catching passes.
Boy, had to be a ball.
It's not a who's who at wide receiver for Denver. Yeah, I think they are certainly worthy of contention status. I still just think that they are the classic team. And people nationally tried to put this on the Titans in 2021, and they ended up being right.
Yeah.
It's the classic team that until you've seen that quarterback succeed in January with an NFL playoff logo on the 25-yard line on each corner, you're just a little skeptical.
Yeah.
And I'm still a little skeptical of Bo Nix rising to the occasion in the way that roster is worthy of when it's all said and done in the playoffs.
His other side of the ball gives him grace.
A lot of it. And his offensive line gives him grace.
Yes, he does.
They are a perfect example of how to surround a young quarterback where they could only be successful. Bo Nix has no option than to succeed with Sean Payton as his head coach and play caller, one of the best pass-blocking offensive lines in the NFL, and a really good defensive front that constantly gives him short fields to operate in.
Facts. And you know
and
what?
Good special teams, too.
He's gaining confidence through winning and learning. Winning and learning at the same time gives you so much more confidence, and not a lot of guys get that. I'll be honest with that was my pathway in Pittsburgh. We won, so I was afforded to be able to have mistakes and grow and get nicks and bumps and stuff like that. Bo Nix is getting this right now. I felt like C.J. Stroud got it in his rookie year. Also, we can name some of the guys that have gotten this grace. Right now, Cam doesn't get that grace because in losing, you magnify everything.
Right.
And that's to your point, yes. I don't know what Bo Nix is still, but 85% of his team is really good.
Yeah, he's good enough for him to be the starting quarterback of a 12-2 team at this point. Troy Franklin, the other good wide receiver there. He's turning into a solid 2.
They probably
6 catches for 85 and a touchdown.
What would you say? Another running back, another wide receiver for them somewhere?
They just drafted running back. They brought in R.J. Harvey from UCF. They had J.K. Dobbins, who, again, is just so snake-bitten by injuries. I mean, I think for this team, you're probably looking at a wide receiver too, yeah. And now Denver is the type of team that veteran free agents will want to go to. In the same way Devontae Adams was down to be a Ram.
Yeah, facts.
Does Mike Evans want to be a Bronco? That's the kind of market that you can start shopping in when you are looking to add pieces to a contender.
It can be selective.
100%. 615-737-1045, our number. What about the other side of the coin? Who had the biggest loss of the NFL weekend? We'll tell you next. Selling a home can feel simple until the unexpected happens. Maybe you have been forced into relocating. Something's happened. You got to move quickly. You need a guarantee. You need that peace of mind. You need my good friend Bernie Gallerani, the realtor who has the 30-day guarantee to sell your home. Hey, it's Will Bowling. The 30-day guarantee works for you because Bernie is going to guarantee to sell your home or he'll buy it from you within 30 days. For Brian, that moment came during the home inspection. Surprise repairs threatened to slow everything down. That's when Bernie Gallerani Real Estate really proved their worth. With clear communication, constant availability, and a smart plan of action, the team guided Brian through every decision and kept the process moving forward. His home, it sold above asking price. It stayed on track, all while he successfully purchased a new home at the same time. When challenges pop up, you need a real estate team that knows how to pivot and deliver results. Check out Bernie online at BernieGallerani.com. If you're buying, selling, or doing both, call Bernie today, his personal cell phone. He's so confident in helping you, he's going to give that out to you. 615-428-2644. Again, check out Bernie online, BernieGallerani.com, the real estate agent with the 30-day guarantee. 615-428-2644, online at BernieGallerani.com. Wrapping up the first half of the show on Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone, 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. VolQuest's Austin Price coming up at 8:20. Brad Crawford of CBS Sports and 247 talking college football at 9:20. Ramon, who had the worst loss of the NFL weekend?
Cincinnati Bengals.
Again.
They're losing at the podium, too.
Yeah, does Joe Burrow really want to play football anymore?
I was
like for anyone.
We didn't touch on this like as much as other shows did last week, but I think it's a cry out for help to criticize the front office as much as he possibly can without saying you guys suck at retaining talent. You guys are forcing me into thinking about retirement because you won't protect me. Yeah, you went and got Amerigus Mims, but he's in and out of the lineup and he's not as good as you thought he was going to be. Like, he's crying out for help, I think. I don't know if he's that serious about retiring. I've just seen quarterbacks, and I say this all the time, they use the media to get what they want because they have relationships with the owners and GMs and everybody else. Like, he's getting hurt, and a lot of it because of the contact that he's taking. I think I won't speak on their in the building stuff and how their turf and just practice facilities and stuff like that is, even though we've heard about they just won't spend money, allegedly, to save myself. But I do look at him and say, I feel like he's telling them, y'all are unserious about being a valid football team. I think he knows he's that good, but he doesn't think their ownership and management of the players around them is that good, too.
Yeah, and of course, with everything around their edge rusher, Shamar Stewart, and the way all that went down over the offseason and it taking so long to sign him.
Yeah.
There's reasons to understand some of it. At the same time, though, ownership finally kind of put their money where their mouth was this past offseason. Joe Burrow wanted his two receivers kept around. They kept him.
They did.
Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are there. Trey Hendrickson kept around, although he didn't really produce much this year. Like, of all years to really go after Cincinnati ownership, I don't think this is the best example. I just think they've drafted too many bad football players, especially on defense.
I side with you there. And again, they catered to him, most definitely. I just think he looked at the rest of the surrounding parts and say, what is this team? You got two wide receivers. I think Trey Hendrickson's been hurt also. It's fascinating. But that, to me, getting blanked 24-0 at home was definitely, in my personal opinion, the worst weekend.
For me, it's the Carolina Panthers. Gift-wrapped an opportunity from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing on Thursday Night Football to Atlanta to rise to the top of the NFC South and stay there. They lose to the New Orleans Saints. Tyler Shuck is a lot better than I thought he was going to be really quickly. Carolina entered the game with a chance to gain a full one-game lead on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have lost back-to-back games, including to this same New Orleans team. The Saints were allowed 2 possessions in the final 5 minutes. Carolina penalized 11 times in this game. Tyler Shuck completed 24 of 32 passes for 272 yards and a touchdown. He, Ramon, joins Jaden Daniels as the only rookie quarterbacks in the last 10 seasons to lead a game-winning drive in back-to-back games against a team with a winning record.
Wow.
How about that?
Good for him.
Did you see this coming with Tyler Shuck?
We talked about, remember, I liked him coming out.
You liked him. I did not.
I did.
I appear to have been dead wrong on this one.
I liked him, but it was a matter of what opportunity and chances was he going to get. Because you telling me this in the game that he's had over the last few stretches, you know what it sort of reminds me of? I hope they don't Davis Mills him.
I thought you were going to say reminds you of rookie year Will Levis.
No, it's. I think it's going to end up being a Davis Mills situation where you like him, but you feel like you got a better love interest on the other side of town in draft.
I don't know. I think at this point he's winning enough games to move them out of position to be able to draft a quarterback.
What was he, a second
round pick?
Second round pick.
Like, to me,
I liked him.
Shedeur Sanders feels like Davis Mills.
Ooh.
Tyler Shuck feels like
Speaking of which,
Jalen Hurts.
The wrong wristband for
That's
Shedeur
the first
this
time
weekend?
anyone's ever compared Tyler Shuck and Jalen Hurts. What'd you say?
I said the wrong wristband for Shedeur Sanders this weekend, too.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. They traded out, they switched out wristbands for Shedeur, gave him the wrong.
Oh, yeah, right. I did see that, actually.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
He had the wrong wristband, apparently.
I'm sure Josina Anderson's got some takes.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
Said the card fell out
The card fell out
of his quarterback wristband.
I like Tyler Shuck, though. It's just that New Orleans has been in this conversation about getting a younger guy, but a second-round draft pick for him. I've always thought he could throw. He had some bad moments at the Senior Bowl from time to time, but I did think he had some really good ones. He looked more competent than the guys that were there this past year, too.
It's interesting because he both played a lot of football and didn't play a lot of football. He practiced a lot of football.
Yes, he did.
And then he got his opportunity at Louisville at the end of his career after starting at Oregon. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still a bit skeptical on Tyler Shuck being a legitimate starter in this league because he just played so little, like when the lights were on football in college.
You know why we're having this conversation about being skeptical about him? Because the NFL has conditioned us to believe that nobody deserves to be a starter in the NFL other than first-round draft picks. There's
a lot of truth to that, yes. And I think we've just seen so many examples of toolsy arm talent guys like him, like Will Levis, where teams talk themselves into drafting guys like that with 1 foot in, 1 foot out in the second round, and guys like that not often panning out.
Yep.
And guys like that who don't play a ton of football in college rarely end up hitting. He may be the best example of the opposite. And again, to be fair, he was in college for a long time and just didn't play a lot of games. So he's got a lot of practice reps. He's a mature quarterback.
Very mature.
Clearly has the tools, the traits, and the arm talent. Let's see. This is, again, where not every quarterback and their career is going to be the same everywhere. And maybe Kellen Moore can get the most out of it.
I was going to say, Kellen Moore deserves credit on this, too.
I think he definitely does. I think Kellen Moore is quietly coaching himself into Coach of the Year contention in the NFL this year with how bad that roster is.
Yeah.
And how bad the New Orleans Saints, they were supposed to be the team, again, that is right here battling for the number 1 pick.
Yep.
And they have taken themselves out of the gutter. From the Carolina perspective, just a gut punch of a loss. The second things appear to be turning your way, and Dave Canales and those guys feel like they are now the competent, like, oh, we're the top of the division. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. So, once again, as the AFC South gets better, the NFC South now is bringing down Southern NFL football in the year 2025. It just means less in the NFC South.
I like him, though. I like Shuck. You got to do it again.
615-737-1045. More NFL reaction, Monday Night Football reaction. Plus, with one win for a team over the weekend, I am adding someone, Ramon, into the contender conversation we had last week after they doubled up a team in Week 15. We'll talk about that coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster from Medical House Calls. Good people, I told y'all about a week and a half ago, man, I had just a sickness, a cold coming over me. I just didn't feel right. And I went to the website that I'm telling you about, medicalhousecalls.com. They administered me an IV, man, gave me the proper vitamins and just supplements that I needed in my IV. The next day, I was back to myself. I felt amazing, man. I know somebody else just recently used them. They had the same testimony that I did. Listen, they want to bring the concierge right back to you. And I know a lot of us don't like going to the waiting room or the urgent care, or we don't have time. I'm here to tell you, Medical House Calls, they do same-day appointments or next-day guaranteed at a time that you want at a place of your destination. They will come to your house and just help you get back to where you are. I know life can get you sometimes. They are, we're busy. The kids have their schedules. You have yours too. And they're just bringing back the concierge to medicine. So whether you're feeling fatigue or persistent illness or injury, they can do all of that for you, man. And not just that. If you have any kind of sicknesses, infections, injuries, if you need your in-home labs done, testing, and more, they will do that for you. For a flat fee, you can get an evaluation, full exam, treatment plan, and prescriptions if you need it. Again, visit medicalhousecalls.com, or you can call them at 615-838-2375.
8:02, good morning. Live from the 104.5 The Zone studios, I'm Justin Hawkins. The Steelers wrapped up Week 15 with their 23rd consecutive home win on Monday Night Football as they take down the Dolphins 28-15. Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers completed 23 of his 27 passes for 224 yards and 2 scores. Pittsburgh now improves to 8-6 on the season and sits first place in the AFC North. Meanwhile, Miami has officially been eliminated from playoff contention with the loss. In other NFL news, the Commanders are shutting down second-year quarterback Jaden Daniels for the remainder of the 2025 season. They'll start Marcus Mariota for the final 3 games, and head coach Dan Quinn called the decision, quote, part medical and part team. Daniels has played just 7 games this season and has battled multiple injuries. 1, a sprained knee, 2, a strained hamstring, and 3, most recently, a dislocated elbow. And to the ice where the Nashville Predators continue their impressive December run after they beat the St. Louis Blues 5-2 last night in St. Louis. Philip Forsberg scored a hat trick. Michael Bunting and Reed Schaefer also had the other goals for the Preds, and UC Saros made 20 saves in the win. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the second half of your Tuesday morning. Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins, Will Bowling, 615-737-1045. Getting the latest out of Knoxville in 15 minutes with our insider, Austin Price, as we do every Tuesday at 8:20. Brad Crawford still to come at 9:20 as well, previewing the opening round of college football playoff action. Ramon has a new extension with 104.5 The Zone and Cumulus Nashville, announced an hour ago. We're very excited about it. Ron Slay chiming in saying, well-deserved, Savage. Keep bringing it, bro. Literally. Everybody eats.
Everybody eats.
Dang right.
It's been a motto for a while, man. Everybody eats, man. Everybody in the boat rowing in the same direction. Everybody's going to get something.
That's true.
That's kind of how it goes.
Absolutely right. Last night, the Pittsburgh Steelers feasting on the Miami Dolphins. Everything coming up Ramon Foster this morning. I'm not mad about it. Steelers 28, Dolphins 15. Aaron Rodgers was 23 of 27 for 2 touchdowns. Ramon, was this his best game as a Pittsburgh Steeler last night?
That and the Baltimore game. Yes, the last 2. The one he threw across the middle to DK Metcalf showed the arm strength, the talent that he has, too. DK Metcalf with an incredible run after that one. But he's just simply turned it on. I feel like the last couple of weeks, it's kind of scary to want to try to cheer for it because I've seen the other version of him. Every play that he has that's bad or doesn't go to his liking, he's shaking his head. And I'm like, Aaron, are you happy? Like, what's going on? He's mad every single play other than with something good. But I will say this, too. You're getting a serious version of a leader that team probably needs. Like, when it's good, I'm going to tell you. When it's bad, I'm going to look at you like it's bad, too. He threw a pass, I think, to Kenneth Gainwell over to the sideline, and Aaron honestly threw it into the ground. I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, that's on you. And he has this look on his face where he's shaking his head and everything else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cautiously optimistic about what he could do at this point. But he's running more. He's creative with the football, and he's got weapons. Marquez Valdez-Scantling scored a touchdown last night. What a throwback of a throw that was from him.
How far can the Steelers go this year?
How far they can go or how far they should go?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want both answers because I know you're riding this roller coaster that Steelers fans ride, and that just anyone who watches them rides. In 1 week, it feels like they can beat anybody and go as far as they want. And then the next week, it feels like they could lose to anybody in the league and they're bound for another first-round exit.
I hate the run defense. It's abysmal. I hate it.
Even though it was good last night.
I hate it. Okay. It's too many chunk plays because a good team is going to continually run that football. They're going to continue to just punch you in the mouth. That part has to get shored up. If they get that down, because playoff games are won on the ground more often in the NFL. If they can shore that up, I see them second round being just transparent as I possibly can about that team.
So you think divisional round?
Divisional round. Yeah. Depending on the matchup, they can go a step further, but I don't see that as a Super Bowl team. I think they got Super Bowl components, but those components are older in age.
So if you're second round and you're looking at Pittsburgh potentially as the 4 seed of the AFC, as the worst division winner, you're looking at a potential second round matchup with the Denver Broncos in Denver.
I don't see that going well for them.
Okay.
All right, I just got to be realistic about it. It was time as a player where I knew, like, yeah, we got a team. We're going to compete for a Super Bowl, and we did. And then it was like my last year in 2019 as a player, I was just like, ooh, we going to fight. We're going to fight every game, and we'll be in it. But I knew, like, we didn't have a Super Bowl team. Like, I see this as a very strong playoff team. I don't know if they have Super Bowl attributes to it the way others do.
At the moment, it would be a Steelers-Chargers wild card weekend matchup in the first round of the AFC playoffs.
I see them beating the Chargers. I do.
I think what you got to hope is that the Chargers, if you're from a Pittsburgh perspective, the Chargers get that 5 seed and the Bills stay 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the Buffalo Bills are 10-4 and the 6 seed in the AFC, setting up a matchup with Jacksonville. Congrats, Jacksonville. You finally won the division. Here's Josh Allen, and not the one that you have, Hines Allen.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's the thing about it, too. Like, Buffalo embarrassed Pittsburgh. That's where the biggest conversation came about fire Coach Tomlin came out. Now, you want to look back in those moments right there. I see Pittsburgh being a better matchup to New England than they would be Buffalo. And they beat New England this year, too. But Josh Allen and what he provides and how that defense breaks down from time to time, I simply don't see them being able to just stop him at the rate that they have been. TJ has not been TJ this year. He's punctured lung right now, too. He didn't play yesterday or last night. And again, I can't get over the run defense much. It's not like them usually, and it's very problematic. I don't know if they go to Denver and win, if they did make it to the second round.
Tua Tagovailoa in Miami have issues. Statistically, Tua doesn't look awful. I mean, 88 quarterback ratings, kind of around NFL average.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is where you just got to watch the games. And if you watch Tua Tagovailoa throw, it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. And the 15 interceptions part, like, obviously that is the the big red flag in that. But Tua is asked to do so little in that offense and just get it out to athletes in space and let them go.
Mm-hmm.
Let them go. And he's decent at that. You ask him to do anything other than swing passes and slants, all of a sudden Tua Tagovailoa struggles.
He's fine.
Yeah. And for what he's making, you got to be a lot more than fine.
But see, that's the pressure that teams are running into, though. And
it
yes,
is.
the league is adjusted, and the
100%.
salary cap is going up, and the amount of money that come in from TV and betting and every streaming site
100%.
can afford to pay. It's the same piece of the pie. It's just such a bigger number that you kind of say to yourself, like, are you truly worth that? Like, I know the quarterback market suggests that he's supposed to be a $38 to $45 million quarterback, but he's not giving you that play. That's just kind of hard to stomach considering they went out and got you weapons. Mike McDaniel is supposedly one of the better coaches as far as play calling. And if you look at the way they're running plays, too, it's fit for Tua. He just can't make decisions. He cannot not go outside the pocket. When he's running to his left, which is his strongest side, he's a left-handed quarterback. He has no other option. Like, usually a right-handed quarterback can throw across his body. He doesn't do well at all.
No.
His sight and vision, I feel like watching him, especially last night, is bad. When he's got an open guy he's throwing in flow, he's good to go. But to your point about him having some muscle plays and figure out how to improv, he doesn't have that consistently.
Off script, he's just not good.
And you got to be able to play the game like that.
Right. This season on passes of 20-plus air yards, Tua is 11 of 28. 39% completion, 347 yards. It's not great. It's not great. Let's go to the phones, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Larissa wants to say some things about you in Nashville this morning. Good morning, Larissa.
Good morning, Larissa.
Come on. Well, both of you, fantastic.
Good. Thank you.
Congrats for the extension, Ramon. I mean, again, I'm sorry, you guys. And just to any of the people in the chat or other callers, no, I don't know them, and no, I don't work for the company. So I just called just because you guys make our hearts smile. But congratulations in regards to the extension. There's one thing that I want to ask you in regards to, like Coach Tomlin. When folks were saying, okay, fire Tomlin, and my late pops was a huge Steelers fan. Back in the day, like when Bradshaw was playing and Franco, Harris was playing, the man cried when Tomlin became a coach.
Wow.
Because as a woman of color, it was like, this does not happen all the time.
Right.
And, I'd like to get your opinion on that side of it. But congrats. Great show. And lastly, I'm going to say this about Cam. As a rookie, this young man has done phenomenal. He has handled everything with grace, all the criticism. No one's trading him, so anyone that keeps talking about that, get past that. I mean, just really, and put what do you call it, a pacifier?
Yeah.
I'm going to say a sapphire.
A binky.
A pacifier in your mouth. But anyway, have a great day, guys.
You
and
too.
everybody, feliz martes. Happy Tuesday.
Thank you, Larissa.
Love it, Larissa.
Appreciate the call.
She asked about Coach Tomlin representation as a coach of color. I think it's necessary. I'm happy to have played for a guy like that. That's seen as a coach of color, but not judged by it though too, because he's good at his job, and that's what's so interesting about the Pittsburgh fan base. Like, there was a guy going after him because of his color last week, and that guy deactivated his account. Big time blogger in Pittsburgh, and it was very problematic. But I will say this too: he's been by the book in everything that he needed to professionally. He's a daggone good coach, a leader of men with his flaws also. But if he was your coach and he represented your team, you'd never have to worry about what your team's role, level of play, and expectations were.
Fair. I'm jealous. I want him to be the coach here. My top choice.
No.
As much as he wins, I think he's not going to be available, unfortunately. Fortunate for you, unfortunate for the rest of us in Nashville. Coming up, VolQuest's Austin Price joins us. The hiring of Jim Knowles, the practice process for Tennessee, and what's the timeline on Joey Aguilar hearing about another year of eligibility? Austin joins us to answer all that and more next. The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Will Bowling. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. Don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills by thousands. Call 615-499-5780 and see how much cash you can get today. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Did you know that up to 50% of air you breathe in your home comes from your crawl space? Have you ever looked in your crawl space? I get it. Most of us don't even want to know what's in there, but I'm here to tell you, moisture in your crawl space can create unhealthy issues that can make their way into the air you breathe every day in your home. It's Ramon Foster, and this is where United Structural Systems can help you out. USS has been keeping homes dry and stable in Middle Tennessee since 1994, so you know they aren't going anywhere. Help control moisture and musty smells with mold treatment and crawl space encapsulation that comes with the USS guarantee.
Encapsulation helps reduce high humidity in your crawl space. It also helps deter mold and mildew, and it protects your crawl space from pests and wood rot. So go ahead and turn your crawl space into a healthy space. Reach out to the company I trust, man, for all foundation repair and waterproofing, and that is United Structural Systems. You can go to their website at ussTN.com. That's ussTN.com, or call them at 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
Tuesday morning continues as the glass breaks and we get the very latest on Rocky Top with our good friend Austin Price, VolQuest and On 3, joining us. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling. Austin, what's happening? Good morning.
Morning, Oz.
How we doing, guys?
We're good. A lot to get to, as always. A big one in Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center tonight, the shortest arena name known to man. We've got a new defensive coordinator. We've got bowl prep. And I want to start with Jim Knowles, Austin, as we just lost Austin, actually. Never mind. I'm glad I looked over at the phone before I asked the question and thought he was just blowing me off.
No, I heard it go click. I wonder was that him or us, man.
Either way, we'll get him back
Either way,
on
we'll
here
figure it out. Austin going to come back with something nice and quirky, I hope, man.
Somebody did not want Austin to talk about why Jim Knowles is Tennessee's new defensive coordinator.
Because you don't know. I tried to make a rhyme out of that. It didn't work at all right there, Will. My dad joke.
Snap and clear.
Yeah, experience is not as high as I need it to be.
There we go. Austin, you got us now?
Yeah, you guys just hung up on me. Way
That's
to go.
crazy. I was going to say somebody did not want you to tell the truth about Jim Knowles coming to Tennessee.
It was very strange. It was like, I was like, oh, Will's never sounded better. All right, let's go.
Oh, wow. All right.
I said you was going to come back with something quirky, Austin. I didn't know it was going to be that, man.
You sound like every girl I've ever dated until the one that I'm about to marry. Anyway.
There's catching strays out there on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a lot of that recently. Austin, let's talk about Tennessee's new defensive coordinator. What made the difference for Josh Heupel ultimately picking Jim Knowles?
I think the experience, I think Josh Heupel did due diligence in terms of talking to different people. Obviously, he talked to Jim Knowles, but I think he talked to different people about Jim Knowles. The thing that continued to pop up was his ability to make adjustments. You know, when things go awry, you know, like you look at the Vanderbilt game, Tennessee just could never make adjustments to what they were doing. Like Tennessee was right there, even at halftime, and in the second half, they had no adjustments for what Vanderbilt did offensively. And I think the ability to make adjustments played a big role. And I think potentially the way he handles the defensive side of the ball in terms of, you know, I talked to a couple of different players last week, and what did they say about playing for Jim Knowles? They described Rodney Garner, which is he'll climb right up in you during practice. He'll be all over you, and then the moment practice ends, he's cutting a joke with you and giving you a hug. So, he's going to coach them hard, and he's going to be probably a little old school when it comes to just, how blunt he is with stuff. I think, that potentially is something that Coach Heupel is looking for as well.
Austin, what stood out talking to former players about Jim Knowles? You had that piece at VolQuest.com and some Knoxville natives who had played for him at Oklahoma State. What did you kind of learn in doing your own process of getting to know what Tennessee's got here?
Smart guy. Players love him. Stern, but a likable guy. And, they all just kept talking about this. They kept saying mastermind, just how smart he was, the adjustments that he would make. So that just kind of a nice blend of everything is kind of, the way they, the Harper brothers who played at Carnes and then played at Oklahoma State, and then Thomas is now with the Lions, how they described him.
We're joined by Austin Price of VolQuest on 3 this morning. Austin, that same conversation about Coach Knowles, man. How much influence will he have on this defensive staff as far as retaining, bringing in guys? I don't think he brought in anybody to Penn State. Is that something he plans on doing in Knoxville also, or is this a situation where you want to see him have a little bit more influence?
I think he'll have more influence on the defensive staff. He's going to be evaluating, meeting with the current defensive staff members, meeting with players, and kind of getting a feel for kind of what they envision and what they want out of a defense and what he, wants out of a defense, and kind of meshing that and combining it over the next week or so. And I would be pretty shocked if there's not some more change here on the defensive side of the ball, Ramon.
No doubt. Austin, it's been a little bit of praise, I guess, different from other
schools and how they've gone about exalting their players and, getting the most out of them. Tennessee's been very good as getting freshman All-American, SEC. They've dabbled in young guy development, young guys playing. Is that something you think that'll continue moving forward, or do you see them moving into this portal era and recognizing, man, I need a 24, 25-year-old going into this competitive SEC world?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a blend of both. I think you have to push your young, talented players to the field. But at certain positions, if you need a quicker fix, you want to go to the portal with an experienced player, someone who's been in a weight room, who's been in a college-level defense, who understands and is experienced and has been through some wars and at the Power 4 level, whether it's in the Big Ten, the SEC, or ACC or Big 12, whatever. And so, yeah, I think it's a blend. I don't think you can go heavy portal. I don't think you can go heavy high school. I think you have to mesh it together and really push your best young players to the field, because it takes money to bring in these players anymore. So you're going to be invested in them. So push your young talented players to the field, and then with other spots, fill it in with some veterans that come out of the transfer portal that you feel like can help bring those younger talented players along even faster.
Austin Price of AllQuest on 3, our guest this morning, his weekly visit here on Ramon and Will. Austin, who on this team benefits the most from bowl practice development, in your opinion?
I just think anybody that gets more run than they got in the regular season. I personally look at this team, and DeJuan Morris is one that continued to get more action, whether it be at running back the last couple of games or as the punt returner once Boo Carter was gone. And so I think the more he gets, these practices, the run the bowl game, I think that helps him as a springboard into 2026. Defensively, the more I know they played quite a bit down the stretch, but Perlotti, potentially Jaden Harmon, make a lot of sense. Idris Farouk seems to be coming into his own, the back part of the year at safety. So I think it's, they're just certain players, and even if they played some this year, I think they can continue to build on what they were able to accomplish and do, and use that again as a nice springboard into next year.
Austin, too, at wide receiver, just following up on that, with Chris Brazzell making his decision expectedly, right, to go pro. Who do you think we see in his spot at wide receiver?
I would tell you Rodarius Jackson, but again, I think that a lot of that will depend on how they do in bowl practice. It could be Travis Smith or Rodarius Jackson, heading into this Music City Bowl. But I think you'll see both in this game. Tennessee obviously will have Braylon Staley, they'll have Mike Matthews, and then we'll see what else they get done at the receiver position. But it'll be one of those two. I would lean Rodarius Jackson just because he's been healthier down the stretch than Travis Smith, but maybe Smith with a strong bowl prep could potentially take that from him. We'll see.
Also, that same conversation about the portal. Do you expect the Vols, or is it every team at this point, kicking the tires on some of these high-priced quarterbacks at the top of this portal market, depending on what happens with Joey, I guess, moving forward, or how they feel about the young guys coming back? Is this just a standard operation of college football and saying, hey, we got to make sure we check every box and make it our best chances to win a national championship by going after one of these high-dollar guys?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're looking potentially at a quarterback, Ramon, you're going to kick the tires there. You're going to see, is there interest? What's the financial number? How does the kid mesh with what we're doing? And so, you look at a couple of names that got tossed out in the last few days, whether it be Sam Levitt at Arizona State or Sorsby at Cincinnati. I mean, those make sense for a number of different programs, right? I mean, we'll see what happens at Oregon. Does Dante Moore leave and go to the NFL? If he does, then potentially there's a spot for Levitt. If not, then there's, a handful of programs that are, further out this way that might have some interest. Sorsby, Miami, LSU, Texas Tech, Tennessee, Indiana, they've all been rumored for him for the last little bit. And everybody attaches Sorsby's name to Tennessee because his mom and dad live here in Hardin Valley, just down the street from where I live. And their brother-in-law and sister work at Grace Christian, which is a school over here in Northwest Knoxville. So like he has a tie to the area. But does that matter, right? I mean, his girlfriend is now committed to Texas Tech, for volleyball, switching schools. Everybody just assumes that's a lock. I never think it's that simple, because at the end of the day, players are going to still try to go to schools that financially make the most sense, that developmentally make the most sense, and then culturally make the most sense. So I don't think anything's set in stone for anybody as of right now, but I do think certainly, a lot of these schools that are in the quarterback market will be trying to swing big for a couple of these guys that have performed well and have a lot of attention on them.
Austin, this next question is a conversation piece, more of an opinion base when I bring this up, because we talk about these quarterbacks in the quarterback market and DN market and left tackle market set themselves in the NFL too. But we're talking like this cycle around right here, it could be a $6 million quarterback or more. That's $500,000 a month. Austin, how does the economics of that work for the people that want to understand it? If like, is that $500,000 a month in cash, or is that like appearances through paid businesses? How does all of that work for people that might have a hard chance wrapping their head around $500,000 a month for a college player?
Well, it depends on how it's structured. You only have so much you can put in. You pull out of the rev share bucket for your team. But I mean, if you want to say, hey, let's just go and put a bunch of rev share on this player, then I mean, that's just that's just money straight out of the coffer right into their pocket. I mean, if they end up doing a rev share deal, let's say if they're trying to get the compensation to, let's say $5 million is a round number.
Yeah.
If they do $3 million in rev share, that means they got to come up with $2 million in NIL, which means you got to come up with legitimate things that you can get through the clearinghouse and all that, and pass the smell test, so to speak. To get to the next $2 million. So again, it's all how you structure it. Ultimately, you only have, in the rev share world, you only have so much per sport that you can spend, and so you have to be good stewards of the money and do it basically how you see fit.
Austin, what is that next step in Joey Aguilar's quest for another year of eligibility, which obviously is the domino that's got to fall one way or another before Tennessee does decide to get into the market for any of these quarterbacks?
Well, they have to have a ruling on that, and the feeling out there is that it may just not happen before the portal opens and closes. And if that's the case, Tennessee has to move on. And then that puts Joey in a weird spot, because if the portal closes and he's not done anything, I think if you're Joey Aguilar, as much as you hate the headline, he would, if you're really trying to get the extra year of eligibility, you would enter yourself into the portal. Just so if you got it, let's say in March or April or May or whatever, you would have the opportunity to do something. I think for Joey, the timing of this is really hard. And again, if they rule on it before the portal closes, then sure, that's going to be the direction they likely go. But if they don't, then I think he's probably just off to the NFL at that point, and Tennessee's got to move on and go in a different direction. I think if they don't hear by January 2nd, Tennessee has to pivot hard and go in another direction, because Tennessee can't put themselves in a spot where they don't get a quarterback. Again, whether they're going with the GMAC Faison battle and bringing in a third depth piece, or if they're going to get a proven starter, you still have to have another quarterback on your roster.
Austin, what is the timeline for a Lance Hurd potential decision in his NFL future? How hard is Tennessee pushing to keep him around at left tackle?
Well, I think that the rubber meets the road on the whole left tackle thing, because David Sanders is planning on being Tennessee's starting left tackle next year. So that's a discussion that both sides have to have if Lance wants to come back, and, what does Tennessee do there? But that's why they pay Josh Heupel $9 million to make those such decisions.
Right.
As far as the timeline on the decision, I think he's been waiting to get back his draft grade to get a feel for where they believe he could be drafted in the draft this spring. To this point, he has not gotten that back. So basically, he's basing anything he has off of what a team may tell an agent or whatever. He doesn't have the NFL's, hey, you're a first rounder, hey, you're a second rounder, hey, go back to school. He doesn't have that. None of the players do. Colton Hood doesn't either. So that's where you're at with Lance Hurd. But if you're Josh Heupel, you've got to kind of know something because you've got to prepare for this bowl game and what's Lance want to do.
Austin, if you had told me after Tennessee beat Houston that would be Tennessee's last win before they play Louisville at home, I would have thought you were crazy. That is the world the Tennessee basketball lives in tonight, ahead of a huge matchup with a really good Louisville team. How fixable are their issues, Austin, in your mind, and what is the challenge you think they face tonight? Where is Louisville going to really test them the most?
I think they will. I think they're prepared for the challenge tonight. I think the issues are totally fixable. A lot of it is just having not played a lot together, right? I mean, everything the ball runs through is new. But Bishop Boswell, who's a guard, didn't play a lot last year. So, I mean, that's the most experienced player you have in this offense, this scheme, this team. And so Jacoby Gillespie, new. Obviously, Nate Ament, new. I mean, Amari Abram, new. You can keep going right down the line. Everything the ball constantly runs through is new. So a lot of the post players, the ball don't run through them, so to speak. They're back, but I think they're trying to figure out what's the best combination of posts. Do we go too big? Do we go too small? Is there a nice mix? I think all that stuff is, I don't even say correctable. It's just about finding kind of what is the secret sauce, so to speak, for this team. And they've had a week and a half off. I expect them back at home to bring a lot of juice. I expect the fans tonight to bring a lot of juice. Tennessee's basketball team needs a rocking Food City Center against what is a very good Louisville team who has good guards. They score a lot of points. And, Rick's defense will be tested tonight, maybe the most they've been tested all year. So this is going to have to be a lock-in game against a Cardinal team that, again, is a French top 10 team and playing really good basketball with only one loss.
Also, I just want to add real quick, too, as we're watching this Vols football recruiting kind of close out a little bit this cycle. Man, just how much growth has Kelsey Pope had as a coach and as a recruiter himself, too, because being a younger coach, there was questions. There's always questions, but he's kind of changed that narrative, man, in this last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, a lot of the fans a year ago were wanting Kelsey Pope gone. Yeah. And now a year later, they're like, get him re-signed.
Right.
He did. And so it's funny just how things flip around. But, yeah, he's grown a lot. I think he's really starting to find himself as a coach and as a recruiter. Still a very young guy, and I think can only be way better as he grows into this role. So kudos to him. He got the passing game coordinator title, got a nice little bump in pay. But I know he's not going to settle. I mean, he's driven to really bring in a really top-notch group of receivers a year from now as well, after coming off landing, a couple of really good ones in Tyreek King and Tristan Keys in this class, and had a couple other ones really good before Utah came in and, topped them NIL-wise late, and then Legend Bay, obviously, decided that he wanted to go elsewhere. So, again, I think Kelsey's really coming into his own.
He is Austin Price of VolQuest and On 3. Weekly visits with us here on the show Tuesdays at 8:20 at the podcast feed. If you missed it, as always, we'll do it again next week. Thank you, Austin.
Appreciate it, Aus.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Austin Price, VolQuest with us this morning. The Brennan Sorsby thing's interesting. I actually did not know that about his family being in Hardin Valley.
Yeah, that's where I saw the link come in. Yeah, they've been all over this one.
Remember when we talked yesterday about DJ Lagway?
Yeah.
And the conversation being, I'm interested, personally, speaking for myself, in the high-price quarterback market if one of them is willing to take a little bit of a pay cut. That would be a reason to take a little bit of a pay cut versus what other teams would pay you if you want to be around mom and dad, brother-in-law and sister. Just a thought. Let's wrap up hour 3 coming up. 615-737-1045 for your phone calls. I'm adding another team into the contender status. And quite honestly, I talked about it on Monday Night Titans with Taylor Zarzer last night on Titans Radio. I've got the team I'm second most confident in the AFC, other than the Buffalo Bills. See if Ramon Foster agrees. Coming up next. Ramona will wrap it up hour 3 on 104.5 The Zone. What if I told you, Ramon, that I think the second biggest contender in the AFC is an AFC South team? And then what if I told you if that team isn't even in the lead in the AFC South right now? That's what I believe.
I know what you're talking about.
I think the Houston Texans are the team I am second most confident in behind the Buffalo Bills in the AFC. Texans drubbed the Cardinals 40-20. They are winners of 6 in a row, including wins over Jacksonville, Buffalo, at Indy, and at Kansas City. The most passing yards, Ramon, they've allowed all season was this past week. You know how many it was? 235 passing yards. Yeah. And that was all really just to Trey McBride. They couldn't cover Trey McBride. Maybe a potential weakness for them. They've got to get fixed in covering really good tight ends. We had questions about the offensive line coming into the season. C.J. Stroud was sacked once over the weekend. Woody Marks, I know he got hurt, has played well. Mm-hmm. They ran the football well in this game, even without Nick Chubb. Am I crazy for thinking the Houston Texans are a Super Bowl contender this year? Because I'm starting to believe more in them.
Trusting CJ has to play a part in it, but here's what he has going in his direction. He gets the same thing as my personal opinion as Bo Nix. He gets grace because of his defense. He probably got the best rush-in duo in the NFL between Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. Doesn't get more dangerous than that. He's got the back end of the defense that'll get him the football back in any rate, any quarter throughout the duration of the game. And his weapons are developing in real time, too, on top of Nico Collins being his wide receiver 1. So I think it's fair to put them in that conversation. It's just has CJ taken that next step? And it's hard to criticize CJ Stroud because he's doing everything you asked him to. The team was good enough in which Davis Mills was in, and he was able to win some football games for him too. And now CJ is being the talent that you want behind quarterback. I still question in tight moments how the offensive line, to your point, is going to protect him and how good is he going to be on a run. But legitimately looking at that team, yes, the common denominator of all these squads that we've talked about has been the defense. And he's got one that's doggone good, man.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud this season, a little bit closer to how he played when he was Rookie of the Year in 2023. Quarterback rating of 94.1. He's only been sacked 23 times. Mm-hmm. I know he's not played in all of those games for them this season. He's 6-5 as a starter, starting 11 games, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in those 11 games, after last season posting 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, with a quarterback rating a little bit below average of 87.0. He was sacked 52 times last season in 17 games. They have done a good job mitigating a lot of the risk and a lot of the bad moments. Here's my thing with C.J. Stroud.
What's that?
He just needs to be Jalen Hurts.
Manager.
Run the ball. Don't turn it over. Hand it off. Mm-hmm. Get rid of it on time. Throw it to your dude. Jalen Hurts had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, but A.J. Brown, you've got Nico Collins. With Nico Collins in that offense, with the way Woody Marks has come on at running back, with the offensive line that's been better than we expected, and we had low expectations, I don't think C.J. Stroud has to be very much. And I think Jalen Hurts is the perfect example of in my opinion, it was a hot take at the time. I think it's aged well this year. Middle of the NFL quarterback, middle of the road quarterback, mm-hmm. who can manage an offense bolstered by an elite defense. And make no mistake, the Houston Texans are going to have an elite defense.
Yes, they do. And they're getting contributions also from everybody. Jalen Noel, the young fellas. You also got Jaden Higgins also playing a part in it. And again, he continually feeds, as I said a second ago, Nico Collins. Like, they have what you need. But here's also the other part of it, too, is we saw them earlier this season start the season off 0-3. Where if teams go back in the playoffs and revisit that tape against a really good Rams team, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they go back and look at that against also losing to Jacksonville, I get it. But legitimately,
them going into the playoffs and being able and capable of winning a football game, most definitely. I just think right now they're beholden to that offensive line. That's the anchor right now.
I mean, he just can't screw it up.
No, I'm with
C.J. Stroud.
The game manager side of it too. We give that a bad reputation.
You can win a Super Bowl being that.
You get paid a lot of money and win a lot by being told what to do. And C.J. Stroud is for whatever reason now has figured out this offense that he wants to run. This was his pick.
And I think too that describes a lot of the quarterbacks on contenders this season. It's not always been the case.
On the AFC side.
On the AFC side, yes.
Yeah.
If your name isn't Josh Allen, then you are on a team where you're just being asked to set your defense up for success. Drake May maybe being the exception.
Drake May
with how well that he's played this year. But Bo Nix, Trevor Lawrence, which he looked great over the weekend too.
CJ.
5 touchdowns, over 300 yards for him against the Jets, who fired Steve Wilkes after the game.
He's cooking.
Titans legend Chris Harris, now the interim defensive coordinator.
So real quick, of those quarterbacks being told what to do, there's one outlier.
Okay.
What is Justin Herbert in this conversation?
Athletically the best of all of these guys, but the one we're just still waiting on hitting.
Because I'm looking at in the Hunt graphic.
Yeah, which yesterday on Monday Night Football was called Yins, which is really funny. Really funny. Actually.
They've got 10 wins.
Yeah.
And again, a great defense.
Right now, they would go to Pittsburgh in the first round of the AFC playoffs.
But his offensive line is screwing him over too.
And that's the thing I think with Herbert this year. That offensive line stinks because they've just been so injured. They lost both their tackles.
Yeah.
Both their tackles.
10 wins.
He has been sacked 11 times in the last 2 games, and they're 2-0 in those games.
Yeah.
You know how hard that is to do? I know you know.
Yeah.
Speaking rhetorically, you know how hard that is to do?
Yeah. That's a hard day.
It's 19 to 29, 210 and a touchdown against Kansas City. Enough. That was enough over the weekend. So he's been sacked 4. This was from NFL.com. I had this queued up. Justin Herbert has been sacked 4+ times in a career high 6 games this season. You know what his record is in those 6 games? 5-1.
That's not supposed to happen.
That's the most wins when taking 4+ sacks this season, tied with Sam Darnold for the most by any quarterback in the last 5 years. He's 5-1 when he's sacked 4+ times.
That's not supposed to happen.
I'll have what they're having.
Yeah.
With the Titans.
And more of it, please.
Absolutely.
And thank you. Other than his offseason is going to be bad with rehab.
Coming up, interesting report over the weekend from the Athletics' Diana Rossini, a college coach garnering a lot of interest from NFL teams. Should the Titans have interest in this said college coach? We'll talk about it next.
9:02, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at Mint Kentucky Downs studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Steelers wrapped up Week 15 with their 23rd consecutive home win on Monday Night Football last night as they beat the Dolphins 28-15. Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers completed 23 of his 27 passes, going for 224 yards and 2 scores. Pittsburgh now sits atop the AFC North at 8-6 on the year. Miami has now officially been eliminated from playoff contention. In other NFL news, the Commanders are shutting down second-year quarterback Jane Daniels for the remainder of the season, and they'll start Marcus Mariota for the final 3 games, as head coach Dan Quinn called the decision, quote, part medical and part team. Daniels has played just 7 games this season and battled multiple injuries with a sprained knee, strained hamstring, and most recently a dislocated elbow. Tonight, number 20 Tennessee basketball returns to the court as they host number 11 Louisville at the Food City Center in Knoxville with tip-off at 6 p.m. Central. The Vols are looking to avoid a 4th consecutive loss. You can hear Vol Network's call right here on The Zone, joining at tip-off at 6 o'clock right after 3HL. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Fourth and final hour on your Tuesday morning. Ramon and Will rolls on. Ramon Foster's time at 104.5 The Zone rolls on. An extension announced this morning. You're getting a lot of good people, nice people, giving you shout-outs on social media. At 104.5 The Zone, at Ramon and Will. Nate Washington says, congrats, my guy. Well-deserved. Thank you. You have Big Orange Mac saying big ragu, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, with the I'm not leaving video. Jason Swain saying, this is how you announce an extension. That's right, Swain.
Swizzy.
Absolutely right. Bryant McFadden says, I know this contract is nice because my guy got an NFL-like announcement for his extension. Well-deserved. At Ramon Foster. You deserve all the praise.
I appreciate all the praise and congratulations. I see him coming into our YouTube chat, too, man. I appreciate all y'all, too. B-Mac, that was hilarious, man. By the way, Jordan Swain, this year with him on Vol Network, man, I'm glad I got an opportunity to reunite with him over the course of the year, man, because Swain was always a cool dude. He just solidified it even more so this past year, man. That's my dude. I mess with Swain.
The best.
The best.
Absolutely. Mike Golick Jr. with claps, with emojis.
That's my guy.
It's good stuff.
I had to get him on, man. Get this. Because we're about to have a conversation. That's what's segueing into a college coach that may be getting door knocks from the NFL.
The college coach of his college.
Ooh.
Diana Rossini of The Athletic writes over the weekend, I expect Marcus Freeman to garner interest from other NFL organizations. The 39-year-old has spent the last 4 years leading Notre Dame, taking the Irish to the national championship game last season. Last December, he agreed to a lucrative contract extension through 2030. And though he has never coached in the NFL, his leadership, people skills, and ability to thrive in one of the most high-profile jobs in the country are what's drawing the interest of general managers, plural, and owners, plural. Ramon, is it a good idea for an NFL team to pursue Marcus Freeman?
Looking at his management of Notre Dame, how he's developed talent, I mean, they've already been relevant. And it's not like he had to bring them from the pits of death. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think it's a different world for him to manage that many adult players that are, some will be in their 30s, not far in the age difference from where he is as a man. Also, I don't see this as college, though. There's a different type, there's a different style and different management of it, too. I do think he's capable of. I just don't know if he's ready right now. Like, he just got to the show. This is 4 years for himself?
This is year 4. 43-12. Well, year 4 is now over because they declined the bowl game.
To 5. Yeah. Yes,
43-12 in 4 years, 3 straight double-digit win seasons, and a championship game run last year.
Notre Dame wasn't bad when he took him over. Whether he started on second base or third base with Notre Dame.
He started on base.
Okay.
He didn't have to build them totally up just to get on base.
And he's going to have to build the Giants up.
the reputation, the look, the quarterback, the skill play, a culture. He hasn't had to do that. I don't want to call or minimize his role in the job he's did as a coach, but like the establishment of what the Irish are has been there for decades. Reestablishing what a New York Giant is, that's a crap ton worth of work right there. And I'm not sure if he's ready for it. Some college coaches have jumped into that world. Heck, they just kicked what's his name back out of it. The OC with the Vegas Raiders.
Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly just got kicked out of it again. So I think it's a great conversation to interview him. I just don't know if he's conditioned for it right now.
Right. It's interesting because I don't know what kind of tactician Marcus Freeman is. That's the thing I think that separates him and the other big college option right now in Jeff Hafley. And yes, I know Jeff Hafley's currently an NFL coach, which is the other thing that separates them because he's a defensive coordinator right now for the Green Bay Packers. But what is Marcus Freeman drawing up? Or is he just a leader of men type? It feels to me like he is a leader of men, motivator, locker room culture guy.
Yeah.
All that's fine. But for someone who's never done that in an NFL locker room, I have major questions. Major questions. Because to me, if I'm going to risk you being an NFL coach for the first time, you've got to bring some kind of X's and O's, smarts and expertise that I feel like I'm getting at a premium. That's not Marcus Freeman. That's not a slight at Marcus Freeman. It's just not who he is. In the way that Cliff Kingsbury was brought in as a quarterback developer and the Patrick Mahomes tie and hey, I'm going to go in a room over here and draw up the best plays that I can to get my guys open and be able to always have good quarterback play because that's what wins you games in the NFL and keeps you hired as a head coach. I don't have the guarantee as confidently that Marcus Freeman can do that. That doesn't make Cliff Kingsbury much better candidate also because he had the question marks of his wins and losses. Marcus doesn't have that. I just think it is a big risk, and there's a lot of unknown because I know that he's a culture builder in college football. He's picking the players in college football. You're not going to get that luxury in the NFL. So how good are you at building a culture and getting guys to row in the same direction and be a good locker room rah-rah guy when you don't get to pick the guys? Because when you sit in living rooms with mom and dad and grandma, grandpa and cousins and brothers and sisters, and you get to pick your type of kid, well, yeah, I think you've got a better chance at motivating that kid. And again, none of this is meant to be a slight at Marcus Freeman. I think Marcus Freeman is a really good football coach that's really well suited for the job he has. I just, as an NFL owner or general manager, would have to know more about how he could build a culture in an NFL room, a guy's getting paid, when he's not sitting in living rooms to vet them on the front end.
When you might get only 8 to 12 new players a year through the draft.
Right.
Where in college, he can get up to 28, 30 a year.
How do you get guys on board making $20 million a year that you didn't pick to be on your team?
Facts.
That's what being an NFL coach is about. And it's why it's really difficult for coaches to make this kind of transition.
So it's interesting. I see a comment in our chat that says Clark Lee should be considered, if Freeman is too. And I will say, honestly, I think both could be considered. But here's what I will also say about that, though, too. It should be okay to be the best at the lower level for these coaches, meaning at college. I think some of these guys, and it's proven to be the case, man, Bobby Petrino, Nick Saban, Chip Kelly, and I look at Marcus Freeman and I look at Clark Lee. I say that about these guys, sometimes it's okay to just let these guys be developers of young men. Coaching in the NFL is a different life. We've watched here in Nashville, Tennessee this year, a first-time head coach kind of bomb out because there's a lot more than just, hey, I'll call it, and yeah, I'll manage it, and yeah, I can get the guys going in the right direction. Sometimes, in my personal opinion, whether we're talking about Clark Lee, whether we're talking about Marcus Freeman, heck, if we're talking about Josh Heupel,
right,
or Ryan Day even, it's okay to leave them at the levels that they are because they are, to me, ushering players into the NFL, and they're probably better at that because there's a different coaching style. There's a different ask of guys, too. Like, I can't, to that conversation's point, imagine, or to the commenter's point, imagine Clark Lee having this edginess to his coaching style working in the NFL. I can't see, to your point, Marcus Freeman not being able to pull and pluck guys from everywhere from Indiana all the way to the West Coast and say, I want that guy because it's going to make my team better.
Yeah.
It's a different animal, in my personal opinion.
I think there are only
coaching styles.
I think there are only two coaches in college football right now, in my opinion, who are on the doorstep of the NFL if they want it. I don't think Clark Lea's one of them. And I say that with as much respect as I can possibly give the job that Clark Lee has done at Vanderbilt. You've just got to do a whole lot to be considered as an NFL coach for someone who doesn't have NFL coaching experience.
Players sniff you out faster.
I think Clark Lee, if he was sitting in this room, Ramon, would agree with that. I think Clark Lee is very well suited for the job he has right now. I think it's Dan Lanning and Marcus Freeman are the two guys cut from the same mold, similar coaching styles. I have the same questions about Dan, by the way, that I do about Marcus. How do you build a culture when you're not picking the players? But I think as far as NFL circles are concerned, those are the two guys you hear really floated out there more than anybody else as of today. I've got to see Clark Lee and Vanderbilt sustain the kind of success they had this year with a quarterback not named Diego Pavia before I'm putting him in conversations like that. And that's not supposed to be an insult. I think that's just wanting to see more.
Yeah.
You've got to do a lot to put yourself in NFL conversations as a college head coach.
It's just a different culture in those locker rooms in the NFL. College coaches are particular about everything. NFL coaches will be like, okay, yeah, whatever. You'll get it. Because if you don't, I'll fire you.
Well, and they also have more support staff in a lot of ways to deal with some of the other stuff.
Yeah, but like they're more hands-on in college because, again, there's a responsibility of helping them grow and mature as young men. NFL is a dirty business, y'all.
It's different.
It is. And I say dirty in a good way because you know what you're getting yourself into.
Coming up, Brad Crawford joins this conversation. We'll ask him about Marcus Freeman as an NFL coaching candidate. We'll preview the first-round college football playoff games and much more. Brad Crawford, 247 at CBS Sports, joins us next.
It's Ramon Foster for Bronze Motorsports, man. Well, they truly believe if you've dreamed it, they'll design and build it for you, man. They're located in Hendersonville, Tennessee. You're probably wondering, Hendersonville? Because, yeah, you see the trucks everywhere across the mid-state, man. This is just what they do, and they're really good at it, man. You can hit their socials up at Bronze Motorsports. That's across all platforms, too. But here's the thing about it. It's Christmas time. It's time to go ahead, and if you have somebody that's a car lover like myself, or you want to enhance your spouse, your kids, or maybe even your friend's vehicle, you can take them to Bronze Motorsports, man, where they can do everything from mild to wild for you. You're a Jeep or Bronco owner, man, they can do off-road enhancements. If you want an exhaust, they can do that. They do reps, they do lift kits, they do interior and audio customizations. Whatever you can think of, they can handle it, man. I've gone to the shop. Live in Hendersonville, so I see the shop, and they have a spray department in the back. They got a wrap department. They got the speakers, tires, wheels, whatever you need. If you want to surprise somebody for the holiday season with their vehicle, man, I suggest you taking them to Bronze Motorsports, the best company when it comes down to customization of your vehicles. Again, hit them up on all socials at Bronze Motorsports or head to the store, 789 West Main Street in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Ramona Will rolls on 104.5 The Zone. It's streaming live on Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch with the Vol for Life, Ramon Foster, myself, Will Bowling. We are pleased to be joined by our good friend Brad Crawford of 247 and CBS Sports, talking college football with a lot to discuss as always. Brad, what's going on? Good morning.
Morning, Brad.
How we doing, fellas? Ramon, I wanted to congratulate you on your extension, buddy.
Thank you, man. Just want you to know I wore some Air Max 90s in today because I figured you'd be fresh today too, man. I appreciate that.
I hear that, man.
I love it. Brad, we just got done talking about Marcus Freeman as an NFL coach candidate, and obviously there's an opening here with the Titans. What do you make of all of the interest in Marcus Freeman? How do you feel like his style would work at the next level?
You know, he's a player's coach, and I don't know if player's coach stuff works in the NFL. You guys know I've covered college football for about 15 years now, and I will say those close to Marcus Freeman, maybe he's growing tired of Notre Dame, hasn't won a title there, but, you know, this December is a little bit different from him because they declined that bowl bid. He's had some time to think things over. Obviously, his representation has made it known to NFL types that possibly he is available. But Notre Dame's athletic director, man, said last week that, you know, Marcus Freeman has heard from the NFL. He's heard from elite tier college football jobs these last couple cycles, and we're going to do everything we can to keep him. So if it's a money thing, I think Marcus Freeman stays at Notre Dame. But if he's wanting to, you know, test his coaching prowess at the highest level of football, obviously a jump to the NFL would make sense for him.
Very interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Just wanted to get that out of the way first. We got done. I just got done talking about it. I hate doing the off-season stuff when there's games to talk about first. So let's talk about the games, Brad. Alabama goes to Oklahoma on Friday night. Typically, when a team outgains another by 194 yards and loses, I'm going to go with the team that had more yards to win the rematch. That being said, Alabama does this, and Oklahoma also does this, where they get outplayed and find a way to win. Who do you trust more going into this game Friday night?
Alabama slightly. You know, you mentioned the mismatched total yardage last time out. Ty Simpson had a couple of bad turnovers in that game. But to be honest with you, Alabama and Oklahoma, both these SEC programs, have just been leaking oil these last 4 or 5 games. I mean, Oklahoma, I think it's been their last 50 offensive possessions, 31 punts, like 7 turnovers, and 4 touchdown drives spanning 5 or more plays. So this offense for Oklahoma cannot move the football unless it's an explosive play from John Mateer. I'm more worried about the Sooners being able to move the football and score points than I am Alabama in this game. Alabama would be my early lean here, but I know you guys have already probably seen it, but I don't think the SEC is going to win the playoff at all. Even with 5 entries, this has been a down year for that league, and I think this is the Big Ten's 3rd consecutive playoff run, most likely.
Well, we're joined by Brad Crawford this morning. Brad, if that's the case, how do you view this big conversation of SEC versus Big Ten? Is it just a set of circumstances why this is the case, or how do you view, you know, the bragging rights, basically?
Yeah, I think right now Big Ten has elite coaching. Obviously, Ryan Day and Dan Lanning are 2 of the big names there. SEC is pretty good, too, at the top, you know, with Kalen DeBoer and Kirby Smart. However, I think right now the Big Ten, because of its regular season schedule, maybe not as difficult as the SEC. I know there's the adage that these teams aren't proven heading into the playoff, but we saw last year. I mean, Ohio State was limping in after that loss to Michigan and then ran the table and beat 3 really good teams under Ryan Day. You'll probably see the same thing this year. Indiana, obviously, now has a program under Kirk Cignetti. Indiana has sort of laid out the blueprint, by the way, that as long as you have top-end revenue share and you're willing to spend money and find the right quarterback, you can get to the playoff. You don't have to be a blue blood, and Kirk Cignetti and the Hoosiers are proving that right now.
Yes, they are. I'm talking about out of left field, man, with a football program. Speaking of left field, man, I kind of want to skip over this Miami and A&M game and go to this Ole Miss Tulane. How do you view this one as far as Ole Miss's new head coach and Tulane being at large bid getting into this situation? Is it going to be a game that changes the way the CFP put these at large games or these at large bids moving forward if it does become a blowout?
Yeah, we have two David versus Goliath matchups in the first round, Ramon, where JMU's a 21-point dog. I think Tulane's right at 18. If there is one of those higher seeds capable of beating a team on the road, I think it would be Tulane against Ole Miss. I know we've seen this game once this season. It was a 35-point Ole Miss win, but that was with Lane Kiffin calling the shots. The biggest worry I have for the Rebels in this game is not execution, but it's game management. I mean, how is the new head coach there at Ole Miss, Pete Golding, 4th and 1 at your own 40-yard line in the second quarter? We know Lane Kiffin's going for that, right? And extending the drive. But is Pete Golding, is he going to take the more conservative approach? Does that play into Trinidad Chambliss' strengths as a quarterback? We don't know that information. Pre-snap, Lane Kiffin is as good as anybody in college football. They no longer have that on the sideline. So I don't think you'll see as much explosion from this Ole Miss offense in the playoff without Kiffin. That being said, I do fully expect Ole Miss to get to the second round.
Brad, just as a program, do you see a big drop-off under Pete Golding at Ole Miss, or is there enough around him to where even without the coaching experience, he can still be successful there?
And I think you're going to see Ole Miss challenge for 7 or 8 wins a year versus the 10 or 11 they have been under Lane Kiffin. And that's nothing against Pete Golding, but this is a historic run in Oxford under the previous coaching staff. And he was able to do it with a bunch of transfer portal commits. He's able to identify guys at quarterback that he turned into stars. Jackson Dart, former USC transfer, first-round pick, now balling out for the Giants. Trinidad Chambliss, not sure he's going to be an NFL type, but obviously he's going to be one of the top guys in the portal here in a couple of weeks, probably, if he leaves Ole Miss. So I think it's very interesting, the dynamic from Kiffin to Pete Golding, and, who's going to be his OC? Charlie Weiss Jr. is going to leave, after this game and go back to LSU for Lane Kiffin. So who's going to call plays, and can Ole Miss continue that sort of pass-happy, tempo-based attack?
Brad Crawford, CBS Sports, with us to Texas A&M, Saturday at 11 a.m. here locally. Miami comes to town. This is a heavyweight matchup, Brad, as you know, in the trenches, and watching Cassius Howell go up against those Miami tackles, watching the Miami end and Ruben May Jr. go up against Texas A&M up front. This is heavyweight on heavyweight. Which quarterback do you trust more in this game, Brad? Because when he's on, Carson Beck has been great. Same can be said about Marcel Reed. Those guys have also had some bad halves, bad quarters, bad games at the same time as well. How do you think A&M bounces back from the loss to Texas?
Yeah, I'd give a slight edge at quarterback to A&M because Marcel Reed's playing at home. Carson Beck's had a couple multi-interception games this season. Obviously, he's had big game experience and has played well at times. But Marcel Reed playing at home. Now, that being said, Miami's defensive front, this is one of the best teams that defensively A&M has faced all year. And when you can pressure Marcel Reed, he's been shown at times to make mistakes through the air. South Carolina got a couple picks against him a few weeks ago and had that 27-point lead before that heroic comeback. I spoke to somebody at Miami yesterday on staff, and I told them, man, you guys have your work cut out for you. You got Miami first round, then you face Ohio State, then probably the winner of Indiana, Oregon. How will you guys make it through this bracket? He's like, man, we're just worried about beating the Aggies at Kyle Field now. So I think Miami knows, Mario Cristobal, that is, the work cut out for Miami, what they have ahead of them. But if they win Saturday as the 10 seed, Miami, I think, is very dangerous moving forward in this bracket because, like I said, they have a defense good enough to shut down some of these top-tier quarterbacks.
Brad, I am marrying into a JMU family in June, so I ask this as personally as I can. Do my Dukes of James Madison have any chance to make things interesting on Saturday night in Eugene, Oregon?
Yeah, maybe if Wayne Knight turns into the Dark Knight and rushes for 350 yards, then JMU has a shot. I don't think they do. I think this is going to be the most lopsided first-round matchup, and there's even talk of Oregon resting some of its starters for the second round because this game looks so good. So that's kind of not out yet, but I'll be very interested to see if, DeCorian Moore suits up for the Ducks. Is Gary Bryant at wideout going to play? Even Kenyon Sadiq, the first-round projected tight end for Oregon, he's kind of been banged up, and there's a chance he might not play. So I think it's a I don't know. I'd be very nervous, though, if I'm Dan Lanning, resting some of my guys when you consider how hot JMU is coming into this bracket.
Brad Crawford with us this morning talking college ball. Brad, speaking of hot, right now the quarterback market as far as college quarterbacks go is just getting hot. Also, man, from the 2024 recruiting class, the top 3 quarterbacks, DJ Lagway, Julian Sano already transferred, and Dylan Raiola has jumped in the portal. Brad, what is the success rate of these 5-stars and high-rated quarterbacks coming out of high school to what they're doing as far as like this is not supposed to happen is what I'm saying. 5-stars don't transfer. What's changed? Is it the players? Are they being overrated? Or how do you view this market that's been created as of late?
I mean, a lot of these 5-stars, Ramon, they're no longer having to earn their keep at these programs. They're pretty much instituted as immediate day one starters. They become multi-millionaires day one on campus for an 18-year-old. That's a lot to handle, man. And DJ Lagway kind of failed to impress. He had a couple of games late in that first year with Napier where he led Florida to wins, but last year it was ugly. Offensive line play was down. Dylan Raiola, 2-year starter at Nebraska, he has kind of underwhelmed as well as a 5-star, but these guys, there's just so much built around these guys coming into college before they even throw their first college pass. Expectations for a lot of them are just stratospheric, and trying to meet those expectations is tough. But then look at a guy like Arch Manning. He's staying at Texas now for 2026. He's going to be a 4-year player for the Longhorns. Rarity when you're a 5-star quarterback. So, there's always exceptions to the rule. And I think a guy like Arch Manning, maybe he's getting a little more respect now that he's not only not portaling or in the draft, he's sticking around.
Also, you mentioned better coaches between the Big Ten and SEC. Just as a conversation piece, man, with Alex Golish coming in and John Summerall and other coaches being hired, Lane Kiffin going to LSU. What's your outlook on the SEC moving forward? Is it as treacherous as we think it's going to be? I'm looking at Tennessee's 9-game stretch that they're going to have, and I'm sure South Carolina's got theirs, and it's a cold war, I feel like, an arms race to – stay competitive, stay in the mix, because coaches are being fired right now, Brad, that you say to yourself, well, that coach in the early 2000s would have been given grace. That's not the case anymore, man. How do you view this for these new coaches coming in and the expectations of the SEC with 9 games?
Yeah, the days of, going 5-3 in the SEC, finishing top 25 for the traditional have-nots are probably over. You're going to see a lot more 4-8 teams, I think, at the bottom of this conference in the next 3 to 5 years. Ryan Silverfield, another new hire. I was looking at my notebook the other day, kind of writing down, trying to project the SEC's top coaches for 2026. Half the league is unproven at this major level, just about. It's crazy when you consider what we had in the SEC just a couple of years ago compared to now. I think Mike Elko as a coach, he's ascending nationally. There's a reason why Michigan and Notre Dame and some of those Penn State big-time programs that maybe have had recent openings, his name has kind of surfaced. And Steve Sarkisian, man, this is a huge opportunity for him to actually go win something next year in his new conference in year 3 in the SEC. He's made it to back-to-back playoff semifinal games, but not getting there this year as the preseason number 1. That was an obvious disappointment.
Brad Crawford of CBS Sports, our guest this morning on Ramon and Will. Brad, how confident are you that Michigan can lure a sitting Power 4 coach to Ann Arbor this offseason?
It's Michigan. It's a top 10, maybe even a top 5 job nationally. But I think what Ward Manuel and the Power Brass Board of Regents at Michigan have to convince for this incoming next head coach is, are the sanctions over with? Are there any more investigations that I'm going to have to deal with my first 1 or 2 seasons in Ann Arbor? This is a tough job right now. Now, you can win immediately at Michigan because of the resources, because of NIL. They overpaid for Bryce Underwood last cycle and signed the top player in the country. You can win quickly with the Wolverines, but the question is, who's going to be your AD? Or is this new investigation going to lead to Ward Manuel's firing? Who knows, man? There's so many unknowns and questions right now in Ann Arbor that I think for this next head coach, he has to be given some assurances during this hiring process. Assurances, namely, that, far exceed a 5 to 7 year contract.
Locally here, Brad, Tennessee finally has, under Josh Heupel, fired an assistant coach with Tim Banks out and Jim Knowles in. What kind of impact do you see Jim Knowles having on Tennessee football moving forward, and what do you like or not like? What was kind of your reaction to that hire and big move that Josh Heupel's made that he's not really done very often in his coaching career?
Yeah, I think it was a fantastic hire had this decision been made maybe a cycle ago. I mean, I was at the championship game between Ohio State and Notre Dame last season, and Jim Knowles walked off that field in Atlanta as the best defensive coordinator in the country. And then he goes to Penn State a couple of days later after, kind of some strife with Ryan Day behind the scenes. And now Jim Knowles is relatively unknown after, Penn State flatlined this year. I think it's a good hire for Josh Heupel. I'm going to be hesitant to call it elite until I see what the personnel is like that Jim Knowles has, but he runs a simplistic defense. And if Tennessee has a two deep of 4 and 5 stars on the defensive side of the football that they feel good about heading into next August, I think he can win big there on defense. Josh Heupel's teams, known for getting after the passer, the secondary's had some issues at times during his time in Neyland. So I think Jim Knowles is a good hire, but I don't know if this all of a sudden ascends Tennessee to a preseason top 10 billing or not.
I have to ask you, man. I know there's been statements been released and, just affirmation been given. How secure is Kalen DeBoer in Tuscaloosa with Alabama?
Man, if Michigan makes him an offer he can't refuse, I mean, everybody behind the scenes tells me that Kalen DeBoer is still very much in the thick of things in Ann Arbor. I think a lot of these public statements, Ramon, have been said these last 48 hours from Kalen DeBoer because simply he can't let his team be distracted with a playoff game here in 4 days at Oklahoma. His sole purpose right now is to win in the first round for Alabama, his employer, and get to that second round matchup. So I think Kalen DeBoer, I think the Michigan job certainly intrigues him. Now, I do agree, and I believe him when he says he has not had contact with Michigan. That doesn't mean his agent and those behind the scenes have not, however.
Wow. I was about to ask you another one, too. Never mind. It slipped my mind. Must not have been that important.
I'll give you one here.
Okay.
Lenora Sellers still has not signed with South Carolina. And it came out over the weekend that, all expectations were he was signed with South Carolina. They are working on the details, but I've written something for CBS that we've held for 3 or 4 days because I have told my editors this ink has to dry first. We before we discuss Shane Beamer's future and what this Kendall Briles OC hire has done in Columbia, you need to make sure you have your quarterback in tow before all that comes out. So Right now, Lenora Sellers in South Carolina is still working out details, but right now he's still a free agent.
Get out.
Maybe their football account, Brad, can tweet it out when it's official the way USC has. How about that?
Yeah. That's been crazy, man. Waymon Jordan, USC running back, we have re-signed our backfield. That's college football in a nutshell now, fellas.
Absolutely is.
Wow,
Brad Crawford making sense of it all with us here on the show. Always love catching up with Brad. CBS Sports 247, talking college football. Thank you as always, Brad. Good to catch up with you.
Thanks, Brad.
Good to see y'all, man.
You too.
All right, Brad Crawford with us here this morning. That's interesting on Sellers because that was out over the weekend of like, all right, they're closing in on
Not
closed in on yet.
Brad is in Columbia. Columbus. Yeah.
Columbia.
Columbia. Yeah. Columbia is either way.
Would you be interested in him as of all?
He didn't give me enough this year.
Oh, I would be all in. Oh, back up the Brinks
I'm
truck.
realizing too. This is me. I'm realizing I'm hard on quarterbacks.
And I'm realizing that I'm probably too soft on them because remember a couple weeks ago when we had the conversation of like, I don't want the big money quarterback. I want defense. And then now I see the big names. I'm like, oh, but he'd be so good. Oh, Lenora Sellers in orange would be crazy.
I'm hard on quarterbacks is what I'm just now realizing. Like this is I don't know. I'm super. They got to prove it to me.
Let's talk more about it when we come back. 615-737-1045 as we wrap up the show next. Wrapping up the show on Ramon and Will. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling. One final congrats to Ramon for the new extension, for the new deal.
Thank you, good bud.
Ron Slay has a video at 104.5 The Zone congratulating you. Yes, for those listening, they are brothers. Yes, we're being serious. No, we're not joking. Because every time we say this, we're like, wait, really? Yes, we're serious.
Really?
Absolutely right.
I didn't even know he was doing a video. I hadn't listened to it yet because I'm replying back to texts and stuff like that. I can't wait to hear it and call him because he liked to play games like this. And I'm here to play with him, okay? You know me, Will.
I know both of you very well. And I love that both of you are so willing to compliment the other and will take no praise from the other either. You both get really uncomfy.
That's true.
When the other tries to compliment you. And you are the exact same in that.
And I'm huge on giving flowers
yes,
and
you
all
are.
that type of
you
stuff
absolutely are.
until
That's
it's
why you're
me.
a good teammate.
Until it's me.
Thankful for work with good teammates.
Man,
on
I'm
this
thankful
show.
to work with you too, my
Absolutely.
guy. Easy coming to work.
Please talk me down from wanting a really expensive transfer portal quarterback.
Oh, I can't.
Okay.
I won't.
Are you talking yourself into it as well?
No, I'm not. It's just that I live on the other side of the street. And I've gotten a fairly, critiqued and, criticized with how I judge rookie quarterbacks, namely Cam. And I'm just, that position, man, so much to your point is weighed on that one guy. And everybody's quick to give flowers and, all the accolades. Think about this past cycle. Like the spin of media conversations around this is going to be the best quarterback class NFL draft has seen since 2005.
And then here we are again. It's a pretty thin quarterback
2004,
class.
I guess that was that class. And here we are.
Yeah.
And I've been around a good one all my career and having good ones in college too for, a good bit of it. It was spotty at times, but good play from Eric Ainge,
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard for me to give praise for. But to my point, reason I'm not going to stop you from getting off that quarterback narcotic is because they matter. Everybody want a good one, man.
The question for Tennessee has to be, what do you believe about the guys already on the team? And are you risking one of those guys leaving the team if you decide to bring in someone like Brennan Sorsby, DJ Lagway, or even Lenora Sellers? That's what we don't have access to. We don't get to see practice every day. And as Austin Price said earlier, Zone Podcast channel, if you missed it, wherever you download podcasts, this is why Josh Heupel makes $9 million.
It's true.
Watch practice, self-scout, evaluate what you got, go from there. Clearly, if they go after a starter, I think it's an indictment on your belief that in 2026, your starting quarterback is already on the roster. Doesn't mean you've given up on either of those guys for 27 or beyond. It just means you want a little bit more security. I think this is a big enough season for Josh Heupel that he's got to at least try to get a starting quarterback. What I think you also have to be, though, is picky. Because not all quarterbacks are going to be worth $5 million. If you fall in love with one of these guys, Ramon, it's going to be worth it. But if you're kind of half in, half out, if I'm Josh Heupel, I can't go pay $5 or $6 million for someone that I'm kind of sold on. Because at that point, I'd rather just ride with George McIntyre. So that's what Josh has got to decide. Who am I sold on and who do I love in the portal, if anyone? If the answer is yes, go get him. If the answer is no, George McIntyre is ready to go.
And that's where it falls. That's it.
That's it.
It's such a heavy conversation.
There's a lot of pressure on Josh Heupel in 26 to get this right.
But think about this. If you'd have had, and this, yes, we can judge this because he's shown us what he was. If you'd have had a step above the level of play that Nico provided you 2 years ago or last year, we're talking about deeper into maybe more competitive at Ohio State. I don't know Ohio State won and stuff, but like the conversation is like you catapult yourself into a level of play that you hadn't seen. Like Will Howard turned that on for Ohio State in the playoffs, correct?
For sure. And when we talk about championship teams, Ramon, at any level of quarterback or at any level of football, my number one rule is, can you win high scoring and low scoring games? Tennessee could only win low-scoring games in 2024. They were not capable of winning shootouts.
To be real, Georgia found that out with Gunnar Stockton. I think it was a lot of questions
that they
about
can win
yes,
both sides.
absolutely.
Yeah, right.
That's what
I
I'm saying.
agree.
But like, that's a hard.
Like they
way.
went to Auburn and won an ugly one.
You see what I'm saying?
They went to Knoxville and won a pretty one.
You see, like, and then you have a guy like in Ty Simpson, like, yeah, like it's there for you. And then the other part of it is how much you being carried by your team.
Well, and for them, it's they can't win games where you have to run because they have to be able to pass to
Yeah.
it, which again, kind of the same thing, but just narrowed down a little bit. Can you win on the ground and through the air? Like balance is most important this time of year at any level of football because if you're great at one thing, you can win once, but odds are in a playoff-centered sport that requires you to go on a win streak, you got to win different types of games in order to hoist a championship.
Let's compare a 1-to-1 scenario real quick then. Is Indiana the team that they are if Nico Iamaleava is there versus Fernando Mendoza?
Heck no.
But see, like to your point
Heck no.
about being picky though too, like how do I know this is going to be the case? Because Lane Kiffin had 2 quarterbacks. The next thing you know,
Yeah, you don't.
Trinidad Chambliss is the guy.
Which means you go get one. That way you do have options because Faison Brandon and George McIntyre would still be there too.
This is worse than franchise quarterbacks in the NFL.
Well, yeah, because you got to do it every year. You don't get to sign your franchise quarterback to multi-year deals. You got to find your franchise quarterback every year. This
1 year rental.
I will not be here tomorrow. I'm headed to be with family tomorrow. My grandmother passed away last week. Going to her funeral in Macon, Georgia tomorrow after 100 years of life. So going to go celebrate her tomorrow. Yeah. I will be back on Thursday. You have got Lucas with you, I think, tomorrow.
Lucas.
Fantastic.
Trying to round up Andy Staples tomorrow.
Good stuff.
So, yeah.
I'll see you Thursday.
See you Thursday. Be safe on the road, man. But everybody remember your Twitter fingers and your mic. It's always hot, baby.